Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Episode Dave, and I'm here with my co-host Burrito Voorhees, aka King Jr., and we welcome you to another episode of the Nexus podcast, in which, yes, we will discuss another tier list. We are, I believe, almost 2 weeks away from hopefully another patch, hopefully another update. We will see what happens. We want to discuss the tier list again. Uh, King Jr., stay high, bro.
Hello, hello.
And we're also bringing back our our best friend of the podcast. We have Cowboy back. Say hi, dude.
Hi everyone, what's up?
So honestly, I'm just gonna name a character. I'm just briefly gonna talk about him or her, and then these guys can, give their 2 cents. We're trying to make this as reasonably short as possible, because we have done this before, and we don't want to bore you guys too much. But at the same time, we want to give you our updated thoughts about these characters because obviously there was a patch and we want to give you the most up-to-date information. So I'm just going to start. I believe on the screen you should be able to see on Franco's screen SABCD for the tiers. The first character is we're going to go by ABC order, so it's going to be Ashra. uh I don't think not much has changed about her. I would either put her in B or C. I'm not sure which one. I'm leaning more towards C. Why? I think it's honestly only one. Well, a couple of things like her overhead offline. If you find really strong defensive players like a Franco, like a Cabo, you're not going to hit that consistently. You may hit it once in a while, and I believe another weakness of hers is you have to use Serena because she doesn't really have like a long range game. But when you pick Serena, you kind of get rid of a lot of the conversions. So she's kind of hurt by the cameo system. She doesn't really have a perfect cameo. I think the closest she has is probably Serena. But again, if you give Serena away, if you give her up, you kind of give away the long range game. In which case, you have to use maybe Movado or Chameleon. Cabo, what say
Yeah.
you?
Yeah, I feel I don't know. She's definitely not like a a crazy character, but I would say, I mean, if we're doing like a A B C S, I would say she'd be somewhere in B, be high B. I yeah, like is another thing, and I said this I think a while back, but uh most Astros don't use her armor, right? Like that they should just really be absolutely abusing it, and I feel like they don't a lot of the time. A lot of them kind of just stick to playing footsies, which yeah, I mean her footsies are pretty good, but her armors was cheap because I don't think it's even possible to break it. Like she kind of just gets to do it, which especially against like in a game where offense is so heavy. I think that's pretty damn good. So I would say B. Again, a case of she's good, just not like broken.
Um, King Junior, what do you think? And by the way, you're 100% right about the armor. I was fighting somebody in rank, and I agree. I think that's probably the best thing about her. It's the fact that you really, on the wake up, she kind of gets to do whatever she wants, which is a huge uh, asset in this game, considering, like you said, how offensive the game is. But King Junior, what say you? Where would you place her?
I would say B tier is fair. Like, I still want to see the day that, like, a hypothetical Ashra fusion between a bunch of the players that use Ashra, like, uh, the maniacal playstyle from Young Monster. I think he uses the armor the best, and he uses Movado with Ashra. And if you, like, fused Young Monster's gameplay with like Zeus or Gi Exceptional, I think we would see like more Ashra. But and there's like talk. There's been talk about her like not losing to anybody and just being like a solid character. But I think B is a fair placement because she's not super dominant, but she's not being dominated either. So like she might just be solid, like mid.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think they're. there are too many results to point out, that she's like, even high mid tier, right? Because not too many people use her, and those who do kind of use her more of a secondary character, right? And I think that kind of what the at least what the evidence and the data point to. So I think again, she's either B or C. You guys can make up your mind. But let's move on and talk about Baraka. Um, I feel like obviously with the striker buffs from the most recent patch, a lot of people made the predictions that oh my God, Baraka's back in this top tier. But again, the evidence didn't at least hasn't suggested that yet. So I think I kind of have him again, kind of like Ashra, either B or C. I'm not really sure which one. Probably B because he still has really good buttons in the neutral, has really good strings, goes well with striker who's been buffed. So probably B is more appropriate. But it doesn't seem like the good old days, does it, Cowboy? At least not to me.
What do you mean the good old days?
Like when the initial, like when
Baraka
Baraka and Striker were like
Cyrax.
kind of like quote unquote running wild. Yeah, 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 like running wild, and it doesn't seem that good like it used to be. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd say like a B tier character again. I think he has all the tools you need. Really, he's just not cheap. I mean, at least in most matchups, really strong footsies, good buttons. Pretty brain dead auto shimmy to be honest. But some, of course, some characters can punish him. Um, Decent projectile. So yeah, I would say he can. There's definitely some characters where he can really run his game. But then there's others that yeah, like he's not competing like with Homelander's offense or you know even someone like Rico.
Yeah, I
So
think
yeah,
there's a
B
sense of he's been power crept, right? A little bit for
for
sure,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. King Jr.
Yeah, I think he's been pretty power crept too. Like I think his best iteration was with Cyrax, and like he doesn't have the best armor either. Really, his best thing about him is like the back three armor break auto shimmy, but it's punishable or can be punishable depending on what he cancels into in some form or fashion by like armor if he goes in the blade spin. So he's kind of like taking a risk every time he presses back three a lot of the time. So uh, some decent disjoints and the aerial spins pretty nice, but yeah, I would say B tier is a fair placement for him.
All right, next up we have Conan. Conan the Barbarian. Um, the one thing that I kind of realized the more I play is how stupid the forward two is and how difficult, if not impossible, it is to whiff punish. And the fact that he's a that it, that the that normal has a disjointed like hitbox, hurtbox, whatever you want to call it. I feel like he kind of is almost now a better Baraka. He doesn't have a projectile, which is a major weakness, right? Not necessarily in terms of zoning, but just like in building meter, right? Which you want to have as much meter as possible in this game. So that does hurt him. But man, like maybe Cowboy can attest. Like maybe I'm wrong about this, but I feel like just kind of spamming that normal. I know it has a gap and the string rather, but to me seems really really strong. What do you think, Cowboy?
Yeah, he's definitely his stocks have risen, at least for me. Character is I'll be sparing with my words of this, but like he's absolutely brain dead. Like literally in most matchups, he can hold back, and then if you get in range, it's 4-2, which he can stagger. And then yeah, like there's a gap, but then just the range that it hits, he can set up a mind game just off of the 4-2 by itself being blocked. 1200 health with his best team, which is absurd. Really, I hate the health differences in this game. 7 frame normal, super good button. Very good at the kind of auto. I don't want to call it auto shimmy, but the neutral duck into punish. So yeah, he has basically everything. The only thing he doesn't have is like a super strong mix up, but he basically can play his game against most characters. I feel crazy jump normal too, like
Oh
just
yeah, yeah.
absolutely
Oh yeah.
insane. Trying to deal with that. Actually, another thing too that's really I think kind of not talked about as much. His armor is really good, and he has multiple moves that can kind of just enforce a guess. So he has extremely strong defense. Very good at turtling. and outpussies basically everyone. So yeah, I'd say A tier for sure. Maybe just outside of S.
Yeah, we've seen definitely like unlike like with Baraka and Astra, we have definitely seen some evidence in which like even some of like the top players will like pick him like randomly against Sindel, and
Yeah.
because their forward two is so strong and covers her like doing her stupid uh, levitating garbage, they will actually beat her when they turtle right, when they play right, which tells you that the character like has a place in the meta. And
Hmm.
before I let King Junior chime in, I think he's got to be at least B, right? Like at least. So I'm not sure whether if he's A, because there are really some strong characters in A. But yeah, Franco, take it away.
Yeah, I think definitely A or B, and he's still a character I want to get more XP with, but I think the most Conan I've gotten like any experience from was Combat League and running into Striker in tournament one time. The yeah, he's a 1200 health character, disjointed Ford 2, one of the best jump ins, like Cowboy said. I really wish Ninja Killa enjoyed playing the game more because I would have loved to have seen him play that team because he kind of brought that team like on the spotlight first. And like he did that super long insane combo in the pro comp online against Hayate's Takeda. So like he can hit hard against most teams. One like the best stand one in the game probably I would say. Like if not probably better than Molina's. Like the sword normal. Uh, yeah, I would say B or A. Like if not A, then high B.
Yeah, for sure. I would probably put him like maybe high B for right now, but it's up to you guys. But let's move on and talk about Cyrax. I still have Cyrax in S tier, although I do believe that she has been nerfed. I think the nerf in which like the foam, the net, call it whatever you like, doesn't trade in her favor anymore. I think that was a massive nerf. Obviously, the meter building for the bombs less so, because I think if you look at the way like Sonic Fox used to play, uh, you essentially couldn't throw anything out, right? Like if you threw out, I don't know, let's say random Homeland Laser or random Havoc, like Blood Ball, whatever, you could essentially kill somebody from that. All that's gone. That's there's not that doesn't exist anymore. So now she loses heart. Well, not hard. Maybe it's an exaggeration, but she can like lose really bad from a certain ranges, and her footies are already not that strong as is. But obviously, she still has the best vortex in the game next to maybe like Ghostface. Um, I but I still believe she is like top five, top six, and she should be S tier. Cowboy.
King Junior go first.
Okay. I would say it's pretty cut and dry. She's still top two, even though she got the nerf she did. I would say her and Homelander are like easy top two for me, in my opinion, still, even after the most recent patch. Like, it's kind of self explanatory. I'm not going to go too deep into why I think she's top two.
Yeah, I think the evidence is pretty clear, but you still don't see her as much as like a Homelander or a Havoc or those kind of characters.
Yeah, I think she's definitely still S tier. There's no doubt. The best thing, I think, the thing that pretty much all the best characters have in common is they sort of just deny you from playing the game, right? Like, there's not these ticky tack guesses. She just gets to enforce her vortex if she gets a hit, always, right? Which we'll talk about other characters that are similar, but yeah, like I agree, her neutral isn't the strongest, but again, that's why you have like cameos, right, to cover some of that up. I still think a projectile is pretty damn good because it can
No,
still
yeah.
hit. You can still hit if you don't get it out early enough, or against characters who don't really have a projectile. Obviously, it's good. So yeah, I think definite S, probably top five, I guess.
She has a wall jump that nobody talks about, and like her back one command grab, I think it's 10 frame startup, which can punish some pokes on block that are like in the double digits. Um, I'm trying to think of a poke that comes to mind in that regard, but she might be able to back one punish down four from Havoc on block if she's close enough, maybe, if there's not too much pushback. But That's like some secret tech she has against some characters.
Yeah, she has room maybe for slight improvement, but I do feel like she's still S tier, but I do feel like the nerf to the foam, aka the net, has definitely kind of hurt her a little bit, and it's I think slightly reflected in the results as well. But she's still S tier. Let's move and talk about Ermac.
Ooh,
I think for sure A or S. I'm not sure which one because you still don't see too much of him, and I know that he's more like a specialist character. Obviously, just crap ton of damage. Um, has some good buttons. Goes really well with Janet. But can be turtled if you have the life lead. But then again, he can do the same thing to you, especially with this whatever that thing is. That he puts on himself, and then he doesn't take any damage. And now he takes a meter. If you hit him, he takes meter. I don't know. King, you say King Junior. Go ahead.
it's probably still a hot take, but I think he's potential top five. He's in my top five at least. Like I said, I just think people don't want to play him in the lame like hit and run play style. Like you get your damage, you run away with Death's Embrace and gain meter with Soul Punch cancels, like and run away. That's like the ideal way I think I would play him if I was maining him. And obviously you can't defend against him forever because he has throw combo. So and his Oki game is like almost every touch just leads to a safe jump setup. So you can't really wake up against him either. And like some characters can't really deal with his cancel
Yeah.
Couple
pressure
was
either.
yeah. Yeah. He will do cancel push at the right range, and then if you press the wrong button, you can get blown off a lot of damage. I would probably lean towards A, but Cabo, what say you?
I would say, yeah, bottom of S. Yeah, he has everything. I mean, ridiculous footsies, right? Stand two, amazing. Mind games off of his jump in, just because he can, cancel it or float or do the low even. Armored launcher, pretty good move. Yeah, absurd damage. Don't know how that's still in the game to be honest, but yeah, like 600 damage. Yeah, he has pretty much everything. And like you said, he can turtle. So even characters that maybe, could kind of keep him out, if they don't have a life lead, they're not doing anything with that. He's just getting it for free basically, or he's building meter for free.
Yeah,
So
like
yeah, very strong character. You're gonna get hit at some point.
honestly, like against like Ermac, as some characters, like if you have a life lead as Ermac, like with Death's Embrace, like how is like someone like Johnny Cage or Katana or like maybe even Conan like gonna open you up like in a timer stall situation to where you need to do damage like ASAP? Like I don't know. I feel like a lot of people just refuse to play with him in that hit and run aspect.
Yeah, that's a great point. Again, for me, if you're gonna put him at lower S, I'm not gonna doubt you. But if you're gonna put him like super top eight, that's fair. That's fine by me as well. So it's up to you guys. Uh, well, next character
Oh, I think I know who
in
it is.
alphabetical order. Yeah, go ahead, Franco. This one's yours.
Good old Garish. Uh,
Or as
yeah,
uh, or as playing to win likes to troll, uh, gear ass.
yeah. The
But
the
yes,
the
sorry,
Garrus
I had to
slander.
like, yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah. Go ahead.
he's still like, despite the representation that Gur gave the character and Sarah Fan did at Evo as well. I still don't think the character's top 10. I think he's like number 12. Michael Seraphan actually posted a tier list. I believe it was ordered. Um, he posted his tier list. I saw it like maybe I think it was Friday or Saturday. I saw it, and I think he had Garrus at 12, which I think is a fair placement. And I know I sound biased because I'm a Garrus player, but um, I've been pretty consistent with that claim. And I don't think these patches as of recently have been enough to change that. Um, he still has one of the worst armors in the game. Not saying he needs good armor, just saying that that's the case. His down one's the worst in the game.
You broke
Um,
up. You just broke up.
where did I break up at? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're breaking up now. It's really hard to understand you.
Yeah, your downplay broke up the call.
No. Or one sec, one sec.
You that play so strong.
All right,
Franco's getting it. Maybe his
how
mic in order.
how about now?
I'm just gonna. Yeah, yeah.
Am
Go
I
ahead.
am I clear now?
Yeah, yeah. You seem better.
Okay, so I don't know exactly where I left off, but yeah, Michael Serafan put him at number 12. I think that's a fair placement still, and I think, like I said, these patches haven't changed enough, like to where like some characters didn't tier shift that much, so he like remained in the
Can you
same
repeat
place.
where? Hold on. Can you repeat where Michael Serafan put him? By the way, I missed that part. Like it was hard to understand you.
MCF put him in
What's
12th
yeah?
on his tier list. I
Okay.
forgot what his tier list looked like
Okay.
exactly. I could maybe pull it up if possible, but yeah, he had him in number 12. That's literally where I put Garrus as well. But yeah, the horrible down one, bad armor, uh, just minus 50 health, which I know isn't the biggest deal because of reverse time, but uh, yeah, it's just I think there's just stronger characters above him. Unfortunately, long story short.
Yeah, I don't think top 12 is a bad take at all. I think it's pretty fair. I mean, you guys have probably already seen it. I think he's one of the premier defensive characters in the game, but not in the way you would expect, like with armor or with a great down one. Because ironically, those things are the worst about him. But can run away, um, build resources, and just kind of turtle you out. With the snap, you're afraid not to do anything. But I can see him struggling in certain matchups, like maybe Sector or Scorpion. Like to kind of take advantage of his
Yeah,
weaknesses.
I would say his bad
Um,
matchups are
I,
Scorpion, Ermac, Reiko, Homelander, Takeda. Uh, yeah, I would say those are like the characters that beat him.
Cowboy, what do you think?
Well, I think you know my feelings on this. Uh, I mean, probably not too far off from what you're saying, but I think he definitely could be S or top 10. I just think, I mean, yeah, and no doubt, I'm sure he does have some bad matchups. So I'm not saying that he doesn't. But I mean, you just watch. Like, this dude just is always able to run his game. It basically doesn't matter. Like, he can run away, he can just not play the game, he can build the sandbar pretty much for free against a lot of characters. One bar breakers, overhead low, super annoying. Can't really. And by the way, it's safe with like Mataro. Um, yeah, and yeah, I get his down one isn't
Command
good,
throw as
but
well, right? So that's
oh
another.
yeah,
He
command
has.
grab.
Yeah.
Crazy ass mix with the clone setups. Yeah, I think he's able to run his game against most characters. I think he's very strong. And as I've said kind of before, that fact that there were two representatives is actually like just kind of shows how strong he is. Because I mean, for most characters, you have like maybe one like really top level representative. So for there to be two, I think is pretty indicative of how good he is.
Yeah, I have him in the A tier, like very top of A tier.
Right.
If depending where
Hmm.
Franco put Ermac, but yeah, for sure he has a representation. He has the results, and yeah, I mean, I think he's just a very good character. Um, but let's move on. Talk about Ghostface, who's a character I highly dislike. He's another at least A character. Again, very obvious reasons you still play the game. Just very annoying. So stuff like they brought the Darius cameo, but it doesn't matter against him because everything is a restand. Yeah, I mean, have fun guessing. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like the only weaknesses that he has is Doesn't really have a projectile, so it's kind of again not for zoning, but it's difficult for him to build like meter super consistently, and he can require a lot of resources, right? When he puts you in the vortex, he wants to waste as much time as possible so Movado Scorpion can come back. But yeah, not necessarily very fun to play against because it's all vortex. It's essentially all at all times three-way mix-up. The low is safe, the overhead is safe. Obviously, the command throw is high, but are you gonna release block when he has those options? You're probably not. So yeah, it's a casino Mortal Kombat. Kombat, what do you think about Ghostface?
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with what you said. Yeah, I would say probably somewhere in A tier, maybe towards the middle or bottom. Yeah, if he gets going, it just literally it doesn't matter. Which character you're against, or like how good you are, you're gonna have to guess. So it's very, very frustrating. Um, but yeah, I think yeah, he obviously doesn't have like a traditional projectile, like you said. Although the one he gets in that stance is pretty damn solid, I will
Oh yeah,
say.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's a solid option.
That's damn good. I've seen like more Ghostface are getting comfortable with his other stances and kind of doing some additional mix that you don't always see. So yeah, I think he's a very strong character. Again, just not like the absolute top.
King Junior.
Yeah, a lot of what you guys said, like I agree with. I still think the enforcer stance like could be utilized a little more because it has a 6 frame button with the stand two. Not many characters have a 6 frame button. Having a meterless restand normal is like that's like one of the best things ever to have in this game. Is like a restand of any kind. That's really good. Um, I haven't played the character much offline, and I wish I could play the character more offline. But like I think you could react to the overhead. But either way, like the command grab mix is there, and the overhead from the base stance, not the assassin stance. Um, but yeah, like having one of those command grabs off the run, kind of like similar to Reiko and Homelander T1000. Like anything is a tick throw at that point. So that's just really scary, and it just loops. So yeah, I think it's oh yeah, and like some unblockable setups with tremor, like those are hard to block and are tricky to get around. So yeah, pretty much what you guys said. Like those weaknesses he does have, I'd say probably A tier character.
Yeah, I agree, and I do think people, excuse me, Ghost Whispers can take advantage more of the other stances, especially the one with the, maybe the one with the zoning. That's the one I would, as a zoning player, maybe they can take advantage some more, especially when they have a life lead. So I think there is some room, there's some slight room for improvement as well. So he could even be higher. But yeah, for right now, I would agree with A. Moving on, Havoc. Um, Havoc has been nerfed because the 2-2, which is, it's two inputs, but it's three hits, has gone from high overhead over um, to high mid overhead, and then back to 4, which I don't remember the previous period. It might have been like -6 or something like that. Went from is now -12 now, so you cannot spam that anymore. But guess what? None of it matters because he has the best synergy with Striker in the games, who's been on mega buff. So this is actually the character I've been using the most, and if I went to a tournament, this is the character I would use. Why armor is if you essentially he has some of the best defense in the game. His projectile is massively underrated. It's very strong in many matchups. In some matchups, it's like limited, but yeah, like his damage with if you have access to Striker's rapid fire, you will do 50%. No bar, by the way, no bar, not required. So I'm praying that people use that that they're out of that breaker because then I'm gonna mess them up really really bad. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like the character's still strong, and I feel like the nerves don't really matter. Don't matter. They matter to an extent, but they honestly the only reason that NR's nerfed the back to 4 streak is because of Striker. Otherwise, you would be dealing with nonstop mix-ups. And I feel like the character's S tier. tier. Cowboy, am I up playing or down playing?
No, I mean, yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that he's S tier. Probably still top three to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I've said this. I think his armor is just crazy. Like, he has some of the best offense in the game, and then also I think the best defense. Just period. So it's like he's at advantage when he's in your face because he has mix. But if you try to take your turn back, he's also at an advantage because he has the best armor. So yeah, I mean, really dominates neutral too with back two and the blood ball. Um, the roll is just a crazy like anti zoning tool. It also goes under normals and stuff sometimes too. So yeah, I think no doubt he's an S tier character, probably top three.
King Junior, go ahead.
I've always had some hot takes on Havoc in previous patches, like of him maybe not being as high as people put him because of the lack of fuzzying that some players have these days. Um, Obviously, his mix got weaker with the 2-2 nerfs. Um, but yeah, Striker being buffed kind of made those nerfs not as relevant as you would expect. The back 2-2 grab in the Striker is really good. It like barely scales. And another situation I would like to play offline more is whether you can react to instant air overhead or not from Havoc. I think you can offline for sure.
Uh,
Um,
You're talking about the dive. He said aerial dive kick, right?
yeah, the the aerial overhead kick he does.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
boot,
Yeah, the boot. Yeah, we'll call it the boot. Um, I think I know it's probably that the armor. Yeah, I don't mind like his armor too much because it's like flawless blockable. Obviously, you can put grenades behind it and make it like gapless into like being safe or whatever. Because I play Dave's Havoc pretty frequently now, and um, armor into grenades is a thing and it jails, but so it like makes it safe. But yeah, I don't know. I never really minded Havoc too much in these past couple patches. I would put him like high A or low S, but that might be a hot take. I understand why.
No, no, fair enough. Cowboy, I mean, you probably play better competition than either one of us recently. Who do you think is his best cameo? Is it Striker or Mavado or maybe somebody else, or is it just a combination of everybody?
this cameo just in general.
Yeah,
Yeah, Striker's definitely up there now. I think Movado is still pretty good. Uh, not as not as dominant as he was though, for sure. I still think Tremor is really good. Uh, so yeah, those would be my, probably the two that stand out to me is like Tremor and Striker. I'm sure
yeah,
there's others I'm not thinking of just yet. Oh, Darius stocks definitely are up, especially for certain characters.
I would say
yeah,
the
yeah. Fair enough, fair
damage
enough.
that you get with Striker from the roll and the grab from back 2-2, those are like really strong. Like Havoc can, or no, I'm sorry, Movado can't get you that kind of damage. I think
Right.
I would say Striker's his best cameo, but he does have options if you're not using Striker.
No, for sure, for sure. I like Striker, but I think Cowboy maybe has a point with Tremor. Maybe that's somebody I need to mess up some, need to mess around with some more. But yeah, I like Striker personally because the damage, like, if you like more of a maybe turtling, quote unquote zoning havoc, you can play around rapid fire, right? And then it's like, okay, I just need one opening, then I'm gonna fuck him up, right? Like, and that's kind of how I like to play. But if you're more like an offensive havoc, then maybe Mavado or Tremor might still be the way to go. Even I think Tremor you can probably play both ways, and that's something he's something I need to experiment more with. But yeah, I think Havoc is S tier. Whether he's low S, I don't, maybe we'll see, how this tier ends. But let's talk about Homelander. Homelander, I think, is the best character in the game now. Now that Cyrex got nerfed. Essentially, anytime he's in mid range, you're guessing. You don't know what if they're going to do forward four or if they're going to dash in into the command grab into, essentially 75% um, wall carry, right? So lasers are very much underrated as well. This is something I realized playing Havoc. If you don't have access to a really like strong anti-zoning tool, that could be an issue in certain matchups. I mean, I don't know like what to say. He like just has everything. I believe he was the most used character Final Combat as well. Um, almost no weaknesses really. The armor's supposed to be a weakness, but then they put Farah, on their backs, and it's super awkward to deal with and punish. You guys have seen it. I don't think we need to rant too much about this. Cowboy, what say you about Homelander?
Yeah, he's top one. S tier character, no doubt. Clearly just does the best, mix the game. Which I mean, this is a mixed game, so that's pretty damn good. Like you said, you really just can't play neutral with this character. It's a constant dice roll, no matter where you are on the screen, pretty much. Really good damage. Armor is actually a mind game because of Farah, like you said. So even though it's slow, it's like he's still making you guess. Decent mid. Like it's not like a ton of range, but it's good enough for the purpose it serves. And yeah, basically at any time you're getting mixed and into pretty strong Oki. And then lasers aren't great by themselves, but are good enough in tandem with everything else to work.
I agree. King Jr., what do you stand on Homelander?
Yeah, this character sniffs glue. He is easy top. He's easy top two in my opinion. I would maybe even say number one. He's probably my least favorite character to fight. Still, that command grab is just. It's just like I said. It's like previous episodes and other podcasts. Like that command grab is just so easy to enforce. Covers almost full screen. Unreactable overhead starter with the flight overhead. Forward disjointed normal. One of the best normals in the game. Insane backwalk and forward movement. Like um,
Oh yeah, the backwalk. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's probably the best movement in the game. That is legitimately crazy how good it is.
Yeah, he's so hard to like. Yeah, that's really difficult to deal with.
I can like sorry, just kind of a tangent. I can like shoot him with like T1000's gun, the pistol.
yeah,
Yeah,
And he can fucking after it hits, he can fucking backdash my far spike. Like it doesn't connect. It's just
that's
absolutely absurd how good his movement is.
yeah, that's pretty crazy. Yeah, I mean, I think again, at least I promise that we don't want to rant too. I think this is so obvious. I mean, he's obviously even if you don't have him in your top two, he's got to be at least like top three or top four, right? It's the evidence is so overwhelming, and if you just watched anything, really watch anything, whether any tournament online you know, or in the USA or in Brazil or like it's so obvious that he's so strong. But I don't think he should be nerfed. But yeah, it's just like he's the one of the best characters in the game. But it's super obvious. But let's talk about Johnny Cage. I'd have Johnny Cage in A tier. Um, he just has some stuff that it just cannot be bad by design, right? Whatever is it a 9 frame mid, right? Is
yes,
that
And
what it is?
hmm
Yeah. And then he's got the stupid, shadow kick that's like 10 frames. Then he's probably got one of the best jumpers in the game. Just like those three things alone, right? Like they just can that cannot be bad by design. Does not have the best mix, but does have great pressure. So I don't matchup. Sometimes he has to throw more than he probably would like in this game. You can kind of get blown up for that. Um, but yeah, I still have him in an A. Essentially, just like can steal his turn with Tremor or use. He's just very complete, right? Like very strong character. Not necessarily the best because he doesn't have the best mix per se, but nonetheless he's very very strong. Cowboy, do you agree?
yeah, I like you said, I just don't think he can be bad. Definitely not like super oppressive, at least in most matchups. But has every tool that you need. Great movement. Can
Oh
just say
yeah,
fuck
that as well. Yeah.
can fuck neutral with the shadow kick into tremor or whatever. Um, so yeah, like even he is very strong and gets to play his game against most characters. I think.
King Jr.
yeah. I think A tier is a
I
fair
think he's cutting
placement.
out again.
King Jr. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Can you hear us?
What about now? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, it's fine now. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure excuse me for that. My laptop prize. Uh, it's putting in maximum effort, I guess. But um,
Apparently, yeah.
I didn't really say much, thankfully. But yeah, I would say Johnny's a A tier character. He's he's not like a character that'll like steamroll you really with mix ups. He's like pretty solid and not the most honest, but he's definitely not the most like egregious character to fight. Those aspects he does have, like 9 frame mid, best jump, one of the best jump kicks in the game, movement, shadow kick. Um, those are all really good. And I think people like when they start utilizing the star power to where he gets an armored meterless shadow kick that extends into more shadow kicks or potentially a nut punch in the corner into a full combo. Uh, those are like really good to have as well. It's just those star power combos are pretty difficult in high execution, so you don't always see them. He has an anti throw tech to where he breaks your throw, and you do that like 1 bar special, I think it is, and it disables your opponents from throwing. So that's like really good to have, but it's pretty hard to execute. You have to like a really tight window to do that. Yeah, he's just a solid A tier character in my opinion. I don't know if he loses to many characters, if any, but yeah, I would say he's just solid A tier.
Yeah, and people still use him. They place well with him. If you show up to a tournament, are you gonna, win the tournament with him? I don't know. Like maybe. Are you gonna get top eight? I think there's a very good chance if you're a strong player, right? So, which kind of tells you that he's definitely A tier. Is he S? Again, probably not because his mix is not that strong, right? So I have him in A. I think we kind of agree with that. Let's move on to Kenshi. Um, I think Kenshi has become better because of Striker. Nonetheless, he retains some of his weaknesses. Like if you like really strong in footsies, like he can have a hard time getting his cento out and and having his quote unquote formula to win. He still kind of has weaknesses to like jumping back to turtling, and now if you use Darius as a wake up, he can kind of struggle against that as well. Like he kind of has to pause his mix up. I think it's between A or B. I think he can be like lower A. Cabo, what say you?
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. It's still bizarre to me because this character can still just absolutely deny you from playing the game.
Yeah, yeah, he's like a
Like
ghost face. Yeah.
he, and the other thing too is, I mean, his footsies are really strong, and so is his movement. Like it's not like he's just struggling to get a hit when he's just a neutral without Sento. Like he has very strong neutral, I think. So yeah, I guess it's obviously not as impressive as someone like Homelander, but I do think he's still really good. Honestly, I don't think he was ever bad. Kenshi players love to downplay for some reason, but the fact is he can still deny you from playing. He can still put you in endless mix, or I guess for 5 less seconds now, but still a very good character.
I agree. Franco.
Yeah, before Homelander came out, Kenshi was by far my least favorite character to fight against. I I kind of want to put him in B tier, but I could maybe see him being A tier depending on how the rest of the list plays out. But yeah, I always think he's been downplayed. The only like Kenshi I feel like that was pretty honest about him was um, Yadriel. Like he was always pretty optimistic on the character. I feel like most other Kenshis were like downplaying or not really saying enough honest things about the character. I don't know. Um, Sento is still Sento. Like you just have less opportunities to mix, which I know it sounds bad on paper, but you could still die. Like if in the first 2 guesses, if you guess them wrong. So I mean, it's just not as brain dead. Like you don't have as much of a casino to go through. Thankfully, when you're defending against him.
Yeah, and the Conqueror from the player from Brazil, he uses Kenshi with various cameos. He essentially is one of the best players, in that scene. So, um, but I do feel like if you're fighting like a Homelander, I can see how that would be difficult, right? If you're fighting Havoc, I can see how that would be annoying. Um, it maybe if you're fighting, s- somebody who's counter picking with Darius, any of the top tiers, I can see how that could be a problem, right? So he kind of has, maybe slight issues which prevent him from, being like super top. And I'm sure you guys would agree with that, right?
Yeah, like he doesn't have the best
Yeah,
armor in
I
the
mean he's not
game.
like the best,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's an issue as well. Yeah. Cowboy, you agree with my
Yeah,
assessment?
I agree. Like I said, he definitely has some weaknesses, but I think he's more than fine. You could make a top 8 with him.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
yeah, yeah,
people
absolutely,
like when we would
absolutely.
say the downplay, like I see people putting him in like bottom five. I think that's ludicrous.
Which
Yeah,
is
that's
like ridiculous.
insanity. That's complete insanity. I mean, that makes even Cowboys' previous downplaying in the some of the other games. like I saw tier lists like kind of like how can a character be bottom five when he can like kill you? Like when he can literally make you guess for like 10 seconds. That's just insane to me. But yeah, I haven't been low A. If you want to put it on top B, I can kind of understand it, but nothing, definitely not lower than B. I think that is insanity. You guys agree again?
Yeah, I'll put him in low A for
Yeah.
now. See how the list turns out.
Okay. Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Kitana. Oh boy. I don't. It, you guys, if you're listening, you can tell we talk about mix a lot, right? I don't believe in any. If your kicker doesn't have an overhead or some kind of pressure or some stupid ass low overhead mix or whatever throw, I don't. I have I don't have much faith in your character, and I think Kitana is belongs in that category. I have her maybe lower than I would put her in C, man. Like it's rough trying to break people down if you don't have a mix. She has no overhead. She has a very crappy low. She cannot get back throw combos. It's with very few characters. She has no like plus strings. She can mess you up in the corner, but by design, she's not a rushdown character. She cannot push you there like a Johnny Cage can, right? Like she doesn't have that movement. She doesn't have those tools. And the
That's not true,
results,
but okay.
well, what are the results, Cowboy? Tell me, who's placing with this fucking character, man? Tell me.
Like she touches you one time and you're in the corner, dude. What you just said is completely wrong. I don't know what else to tell you. Like she
How,
corners basically off of any combo.
let me ask you this question. How
Mhm.
does Homelander win?
Destroying neutral and mixing you.
How does Kitana win?
She's very has very strong neutral, very
Okay,
strong.
true. But she has to earn an honest hit, doesn't she? Right? Like she actually has to outfoot you in the neutral. Which in
Would
this
you
game
call that
you admitted.
EX projectile honest? I wouldn't.
Hold on a second. Didn't you admit that this game is not about neutral? It's essentially about doing stupid shit in neutral. They essentially break the neutral, right? Isn't
Right,
that what
but
you
she
told
does
me?
that. She does that.
No, she doesn't. Like,
Yes, she does.
there's a reason why people are placing with Homeland, they're not placing with her, right? She's a character. She actually has to earn an honest hit, right? Because she doesn't have an overhead. She has very few back throw combos. She doesn't have a stupid mix. She has no pressure. Even back to what is it? Back to three, back to four. That string like has a gap, right? It doesn't matter in a non armor meta, but it's still there, right? Because people can steal players can turn can steal their turns, right, and then make you guess. I think she's way too honest for what she is. I'm not saying she's bad because I don't think there are any bad characters in this game, and I will stand by that. But like, there's a reason why you guys never see her, almost never. It's because she's too honest. Like she's just way too honest in this game. In a game of mix.
She has mix. She has the reset.
Well, what do you place her?
Yeah, I mean, I would again. I don't think she's like making any of the S tier characters shake, but bottom of A, maybe high B. Like I think she has lots of tools, does great damage. Has an armored launcher, which I mean that's always good. And you're
The
Mister
armor
Armor, you should
sight has
agree with
literally
that.
no range. It's one of the worst armor in the game. If it had
Well,
more range, then yeah, she would be higher. I agree. But like,
well, you
guys,
don't
that
use it at
armor is
range. You use it in pressure. That's not how you
it,
use it,
the armor, guys. I am the armor master. The armor sucks.
and you
It's so
should
bad.
know.
The armor sucks. Trust me,
So
it
just because
sucks.
you can't do it from like half screen, it's bad. Like I don't agree with that.
Yeah, that's what the good armors do. They hit you from
No,
half
that's
screen.
bullshit. That's what the broke armor does.
Yes, thank you. And she's not broke. Franco, take it
I didn't
away.
say she was broke.
I wish we could have seen Retro compete more because his katana was always talked about. Uh, I think Faceal was like the only other katana we really saw in tournament, and that was like season one of like Final Combat from what I remember. Maybe some other tournaments before season one Final Combat. He was using Katana Chameleon from what I remember, but yeah, she does have to earn like an honest hit. Her armor hits mid high, so you can't like jail it off of anything. Unfortunately, on block, which kind of hurts her. Yeah, you could try to steal your turn with it up close. She has the corner mix-ups with the throw and the fan bomb, which that fan bomb doesn't go away on hit for some reason. I don't know why. And her crouching fan meter burn doesn't go away on hit either. So like you have to be careful trying to take your turn against her sometimes, and you're kind of just forced to block those plus frames that crouching fan gives you. And yeah, sure, like what is she gonna do with those plus frames? Because she doesn't really have any mix outside of the fan bomb setups. You can make that argument, but she does hit really hard if she does hit you or punish you, like if you do something unsafe. And if you have to, if she has a life lead on you and you have to approach her, it is very uh, annoying to get in on her sometimes. Like so, but yeah, I know Dave will probably say like in the situation where she has to catch up or like in a even health bar scenario, like what is she gonna do to put herself at an advantage? So I would say I'd probably put her at the top of B or the middle of B, but that's just me.
I was fighting somebody in Combat League and I had a massive like life lead. I think it came down to like 20, 25 seconds. I was just holding down back. Like, there's not, that tells you when a character's overrated. Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, I just, I just tried to tech, right? Like, just reasonably tech. I still won. If you can do that to a character in this game, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you, man. Like, you're gonna have massive issues winning. This is not the type of game. She should be given an overhead. Like it should be an over like an MKX, right? Like the knocks down, she can't get anything. Then she would be really, really good. Like she would be scary. But like I have no respect for a character like that in this game because it's just too weak. She's weak. She doesn't. She has no mix in a mixed game. So Cowboy and Freckle, they could talk all their asses all they want. I'm telling you guys, that doesn't work in this game. How do you turtle on a character with 20 seconds left? By the way, that guy was better than I am in footsies. But it doesn't matter because the game is not about footsies. It's about mix. So it's again to me she's B tier. No mix. It's a massive problem for her, and she has tons of bad matchup because of it. But that's just my opinion. Let's move on. Oh boy, Kung Lao. This is a character. Kung Lao is a character I would, I was massively defending pre-patch. I think he was as high as like top A. He was not S tier, but he was top A. The reason I quit the character is because of one thing. The sector Fatal Blow nerfs completely destroyed this character. Why? In those instances in which you would get you would essentially zone with the Fatal Blow. I know people don't think it as such, but that's such what it was, a zoning tool, right? Like it made you stand still. Like no, you have to hold this, right? You have to hold this, and you have to respect the missile, right? All that's gone. It's gone. It doesn't no longer exist. So now he's kind of like mid tierish, maybe low mid tier. I have him in B, and if you think, oh my god, that's downplay, trust me, go, dude. I'm using the fatal blow against like Kitana, against Liu Kang, against Havoc. it doesn't work. Like it whiffs. It whiffs half the time. It's like it's a fatal blow that's been reduced to like a combo tool. Franco, what in the world? Like, bro, what does that sound? But anyway, uh, it's been reduced to a combo tool, and it has hurt the character massively. Cowboy, am I downplaying?
Well, I do agree that his stocks have fallen. I would say he's like a, if we're gonna talk tiers, like a
Yeah,
B tier character, probably the top of it. But I mean, I also am not gonna defend that fatal blow. Like that shit was fucking ridiculous and had to go. And this is someone who used it too. I mean, I used a lot of Sector with Quan back then,
yeah.
but that was clearly too strong. It needed to go.
W-
Yeah, he's a solid character. He's annoying. He can zone. Great armored move. Really annoying mix-ups. Like they're not, super damaging on their own. Although, kind of the new wave is he's one of the characters that really benefits from Striker. Like he gets launching mix off of that. I'm sure you've seen. So that's pretty good. But
I think I can mess around with. I think I need to mess around with that team more. But
yeah, like he does sweep into grenades or the overhead grenades, and I mean it's a
yeah,
combo.
but he honestly, man, if you're a Kung Lao player, you still want to use striker. I mean, I'm sorry, you still want to use sector, right? Because by design. You want to throw out a missile, and that stops the opponent from moving, or they move back. Then you dive kick, right? That's really like the basic formula of the character. And now that part still works, but then it's like you get fatal blow and nobody cares anymore. Literally, not a single person out of 100 people, none of them care, right? Like you're not gonna react to Lee May's projectiles. You're not gonna react to um, Kitana's. You're not gonna react to any projectiles because any idiot knows I don't throw projectiles if I'm full screen. But if I just walk in, if I dash in slightly, you cannot react to anything. And I believe the character has fallen at least a tier, maybe even two. And by the way, pre-patch, you guys, if you have listened to this, I know I kept it honest. Like I used to always upplay the character. Now I don't. I think the character has been massively affected by that nerf, and I think he could be as low as C tier, but I think like
That's
low.
stupid.
No, it's not because again, I used to upplay the character, so you can shut the hell up. But I think I kept it
He's
honest.
B.
I think I'm gonna say it, man. He's probably top of C.
Oh my god, that's dumb. He
Uh,
okay. And again, it's I'm not saying that like I think he's even an A tier character, but C, that's I don't agree with that at all.
Dude, the meta has shifted, man. Like, I'm sorry, like that's the way. Dude, who was the biggest up player pre-patch about Kung Lao? It was me. I don't post on Twitter that much for obvious reasons, but like, I did say like people like, dude, I used to blow the hell out of people like for like saying he's shit. It's like the guy, the character's not shit. He has sector. He's really strong. There's the fatal blow. There's the mix-up. Whatever. You guys are playing the character wrong. I was the biggest up player of the character, and I used actually. You know this. I used to defend him. I used to use him, but now I quit the character. Why? NRS, bring back the pre-patch fatal blow. Bring it back. He needs
Here's
it.
okay. Here's the other thing too, and this is why this is really annoying because you haven't even tried his best team now. Like you're still just stuck up on like that broken ass sector fatal blow. He is good or pretty good with striker, like legitimate 50/50s launching, and he
Fair
still has
enough.
armor, and he still has zoning. Like this is just wrong. You're just mad because the one abusable thing is gone.
Fair enough. Unlike you, I will give it a chance, and I will not downplay anymore. So you may be right. I
Okay.
tried it. I'm like, why am I using this team when I can just use Havoc? What's the point of this team?
Well, obviously,
If I'm
but
gonna use, well, yeah. So if I'm gonna use Kung Lao, I'm like, hmm, which other character has stupid armor and has a projectile that's kind of comparable? Oh, it's Havoc. So why am I bothering?
right. Well, I'm not making any arguments that Havoc's okay.
Fair enough. King Junior, what do you stand on Kung Lao? As somebody who's probably has fought me more than any other fucking player on the planet.
Can you hear the what noise were you talking about earlier? Is that noise still happening? By any,
It was.
I heard
No, it's
traffic.
not.
I thought that was from Dave though.
It was not for me. I'm not outside, bro.
Well, you're
Anyways,
okay, bro, but your place is probably near a road.
Oh yeah,
it's
there is
not.
a train nearby my house. Maybe that's what you heard. I was just making sure it's not happening as
Yeah,
we.
that's what it was.
Uh, but yeah, Kung Lao. I do think.
Cowboy always blaming the immigrant. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Anyway, go ahead.
Uh,
I'm sorry. I had to do the cheap shot.
um, yeah, Kung Lao. He definitely took a hit with the Sector cameo Fatal Blow nerf. I know me and you have argued this many times. I still think Kung Lao is like good too, and I haven't seen like the Kung Lao striker sauce honestly, but I believe that there's something there, and it would be kind of unfortunate if you have to go to striker who subtracts your health and stuff. But yeah, I'd like to see that team. Um, I didn't enjoy the Sector cameo Fatal Blow, but like it did command so much respect, and obviously the synergy that Sector cameo gives to Kung Lao in other areas outside the Fatal Blow, like double missile into meter burn spin, into like cancel and then throw, like you've seen Kale do that. The forward two into the missile launch, that's really strong. So yeah, I understand why you dropped that team, and I would probably say that that team is probably B tier. Uh, I don't know about Kung Lao Striker, but I honestly don't know if I like the idea of Kung Lao being in C tier.
Well, I think I will settle for B. I think that's fair. As far as Kung Lao Striker, I will try it more, but then I'm thinking to myself, why? There's another character who does everything better with Striker anyway. But fair enough. Fair enough. Let's move on. Talk about Lee May. I think Lee May's underrated, dude. This character's kind of dumb. Like I think she does crap ton of damage. The only reason she's not top tier is because she's hurt by the cameo system because she cannot have Scorpion's damage and Kung Lao's, the cameos. Kung Lao's, and by the way, Scorpion's obviously the cameo. She cannot have the cameo Scorpion's damage and the cameo um, Kung Lao, like, whatever zoning, space control, neutral. If she had both, I would put her like, she would be like as annoying as Homelander. But because she cannot have both, she has to choose. I think that hurts her. And I think she's at least B. Again, Cabo, you probably played the game more at a high level than either one of us. What do you think? What do you rank her?
I think B tier is a fair place for her. She does have some really good stuff going for her. Great
Yeah.
damage, like you said. Armored launcher, or well, I guess not an armored launcher because it doesn't launch when it gets hit. But she does have kind of the screw neutral tool with the dash, which launches. She has some kind of mix. I don't know how real it is. With the cartwheel overhead, like it definitely can work. But you got to kind of set it up, which other characters don't. Strong projectile, very good air control. Really, I mean, especially against some characters, very strong pressure. Like when she's up close.
Yeah.
She's plus basically, I mean, almost everything. It feels like. So really, yeah, really good jab. Very good at punishing things that no other characters can with her 7 frame move. Yeah, she has things going for her. But I don't think she's that great. And then I could definitely see her just getting like eaten alive by like Homelander, Havoc, things like that.
Yeah. Fair enough. Uh, King Jr.
Yeah, I think B tier is fair for her. I use her a little bit. I think she's like a character maybe we'll see like in an era of Mortal Kombat 1 where like the Necros like come in and like there's just people that have grinded the game since day one onwards. Uh, I think she has like a lot of potential, but currently like she does have cameo syndrome. Like um, she doesn't get everything with one cameo, unfortunately. She has T Rex arms, and her anti-air game, like I don't think she has like the best anti-airs, so that kind of sucks too. Like she kind of has to rely on up block to anti-air, um, especially if it's like a cross-up jump in, then it's like pretty difficult to anti-air with her. Um, Yeah, I would say B tier. She does have real mix, but like Cowboy said, she has to set it up. She can't just be like screw neutral into mix like some other characters can. So, yeah, I would say like low B tier probably.
Yeah, fair enough. Then we have, well, I think speak of another B tier character. I think we have Liu Kang. I think Liu Kang is literally like definition of vanilla. um, he is a strike throw character. He's like the epitome of a strike throw character, right? He has no overhead, really no lows. That's the only thing he wants to do. Has some solid projectiles. Honestly, the most annoying thing about the characters, like when fools pick Motaro and just spam that, like, what is it, back
The
forward
flying
three,
kick.
that move, random, yeah, like random in the neutral that like hits you. It does a crap ton of damage, especially when they have fatalable. That is really strong, especially like as a random, neutral check, quote unquote, anti-zoning tool, quote unquote, zoning tool, whatever you want to call it. I have him in probably B, maybe even C. I don't know. Cowboy, you chime in.
I think you're downplaying a little bit here.
Okay, go ahead.
Again, certainly not like a top tier character, but I think like bottom of eight would be possible. I mean, he can skip neutral pretty easy, and you're right, he doesn't have mix, but he has the next best thing, which is great one runaway. Also, a really good armored move that he can make safe.
True.
And yeah, the flying kick is just an absolutely fuck neutral tool. Like he can just throw it out whenever. He can be safe on it because of Botaro, and like you said, it does a shit ton of damage. He has really just the most auto shimmy in the game, like probably the easiest to use, just in terms of yeah, in footsies and up close. I think he's pretty strong. I don't think he's as honest as a lot of people say, but having said that, he's also obviously not like broken.
King Junior, where do you stand on Liu Kang, the Godfire, the God of Fire,
The fire god Liu Kang. Um,
the Fire God? Yeah,
um, yeah, I think yeah, six frame like starting like six frame jabs really nice. It's more confirmable now after one of the recent buffs he got. Um, he's like a hybrid character, like some minor projectiles. The the flying kick in neutral is really good, and it's just, that's a really good Punisher in general. Into Motaro, not the best armor move. Um, his block pressure is okay, and obviously he can do throw combos with Momotaro. Good armor break with forward four, plus frames for days with like his sweep and his 2-2. I would probably say like B tier. He does have like not the best dash like movement. Like his walk speed's pretty good, but yeah, his dashes are very short and stubby. Um, Probably say B tier.
let me real quick. Let me ask Cowboy, how do you feel about Liu Kang players asking for an overhead and a command throw?
I mean, just crazy. He does not need either of those things.
Dude, they kind of remind me of the gym players in Tekken and the real players. Well, actually, Ryu got buffed in Street Fighter 6, but like they just like ask for this stuff. It's like, uh, it's kind of cringy sometimes. But anyway, just wanted to see Cowboy's reactions. The next character though is Melina. I think Melina is either S or A tier. I'm not really sure which one. Any match that you in which you guys already know, like this stupid move that she has. They always throw it out. You never know when it's coming. It could come at any time. It could also be made safe. You never know when it's coming. It does a lot of damage. It can lead into semi vortex, not as strong as the other like S tier characters, but like when it's coming. It can destroy you. It rolls under, hint hint, projectiles. So I believe just because of that one stupid move that she has, like she's always a threat at essentially almost any range, and you never know when it's coming, and it's a massive issue. I would either put her like super high A or toward the mid to lower S tier. And by the way, obviously, I'm talking about the role. Uh, just because of that, I think she's really, really good. On top of all the other crap that she has, not necessarily always fun to play against because of one, and you never know where the overhead is coming. Blah blah blah. Anyway, Cowboy, take it over.
Yeah, I mean, I think to me, she's clearly like an S tier character. Not as crazy again as like the top three, but it has everything. I mean, really, really dominant neutral. Some legitimate mix with Kung Lao. I think like you have to guess the timing of it and can definitely get hit. And yeah, Kung Lao just perfect synergy with her, honestly, because improves her neutral even more. Great at whiff punishing. Yeah, the ball roll and the EX air one are both very, very good. She
Yeah,
has, yeah, I mean, she has basically everything. Even when she doesn't have like Kung Lao, she does have the kind of a Kung Lao style annoying mix where just does constant lows and then the overhead. So yeah, I think she has everything you would want. Armor move is okay, like good enough to work. Yeah.
yeah. I think her weakness is like maybe not the best armor move, and her down one, even though it has great range, right? It's kind of like Quan Chi's, right? The frame data on startup and on block is not the best, right?
Well, it's 7 frames.
Yeah, it's
Fair
seven
enough, but I
frames.
like
It's
I,
-10 though. Yeah, if that's what you're trying to say.
So,
yeah, okay.
and I don't compare it to Quan. The hell are
No,
you
no, yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. I'm sorry. I'm talking about more. My bad, my bad. More so on block, right?
Right.
But yeah, King Juju, go ahead. I stand corrected. Go ahead.
I usually put Melina in A tier, like in the past, but I think over time, I think I could see her being an S tier character, like low S tier. The aerial ball roll, like you guys said, you can't up block it. Like if they charge it enough, it's safe. And the lower she does it, the less minus it is. So it makes it that much harder to deal with, like and check her. Uh, the only other downside she has is like her 1-2 being floss block punishable, but that's not like the biggest deal in the world. Um, yeah, I'd say low S tier. I don't think her weaknesses like hold her back enough from like being outside of like no lower than A tier, no lower than high A tier. Like she's definitely like a top 10 character in my opinion.
How about from what you have seen, who is our best cameo?
Kung
Or at least
Lao.
give me
I
like.
mean, it's just literally just day one. It's always been good. Yeah, I could see Tremor maybe in some matchups, but yeah, Kung Lao. It helps the neutral and gives her mix. That's all you need.
Yeah, well said. Noob Cybot. I think high mid tier. Um, he has good stuff. I mean, already. I think you guys already know what he does well, right? It's just like he hits you, does good damage, puts you on the ground, and then whatever does a stupid green ball. And the question is, what are his weaknesses, right? Like, or are his strengths so strong to what that kind of like the other strengths so oppressive that's that stop you from playing the game? And I say no, they're not, right? But like, is he good at what he does? I would say so. I think the weaknesses are like not the best neutral, not the best armor attack, because it kind of hits like too low to the ground, which allows certain characters like Homelander, just go in the air and just like ejaculate over him. Sorry about the language, but like you get the point, right? Cowboy. Before I say anything
uh,
else, I'm gonna regret.
yeah,
Go
what the
ahead.
hell's going on here? Uh, this is a family show.
That was a. It's a. I don't even know if he's watched The Boys, but that is kind of fitting for the character, surprisingly. But go on.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yep.
Yeah, pun unintended, but anyway,
Yeah. Noob is definitely one. His stocks have fallen.
because this is the character you used to use, correct? And same
Yeah,
thing with Frank.
yeah.
Yeah. So
No, he just isn't really worth it. I would say he's a B tier character. His neutral is, I think you kind of understated it. I think his neutral was pretty damn weak, to be honest. Like, especially compared to some other characters, he has to work really hard for his hits. Can make it a little bit more brain dead, like with Movado, I guess. But I mean, I don't even. I think it doesn't synergize with him well in some other ways. His arm move sucks. especially yeah against anyone who's airborne. It's gonna miss. His strengths are he does very good damage. Um, he has his setups are legit. They're very good when you get the hit, but it's just hard to get the hit with him. I think the shadow, yeah, is hella punishable, especially up close. And then when he doesn't have the shadow, I mean, he essentially just doesn't have neutral other than very punishable stuff. So yeah, he's really cool. I think he's a very unique character. I like him. I just don't think he's that strong. Mid tier B.
King Junior.
Yeah, I'll add like a few more things about him, but you guys already said what I was gonna say. Like, I don't think his Oki is like the best, like as far as like his strings go. Like, yeah, sure, he might have some safe jump setups, but like playing the neutral and like if you don't have a safe jump setup, his Oki's kind of bad. Like if he whiffs anything, like his overhead, his like forward 1-3 is like not the fastest string. Um, yeah, it's like I feel like he's very susceptible to wake up buttons, unfortunately, which is one of my least favorite things to deal with. When he doesn't have the shadow, he is kind of like pretty bad. He can't even do his 2-1 string, which is like his fastest button punisher. He has to resort to using 2-4 into Janet, which you need cameo if you have no shadow available to launch off that string. Um, and the only other saving grace he has without the shadow is like his armored slide becomes a launcher on hit with Janet. But yeah, I would say B tier. Um, I think he just has to work a little hard to get his first hit, like kind of like Cowboy said, and that's kind of a big deal. He can't like just he's not too dishonest and enforcing his offense. Like he has to work pretty hard for it.
Fair enough, but at least unlike a character like Kitana, he still has an overhead, and with Janet, he still has back throw combos, and he still has what is it, back four, right? That's zero.
Yeah,
Correct me
that's
if I'm
that sweep
wrong,
is really good.
which
Yeah,
is
Yeah.
pretty decent.
they both have good sweeps.
Hmm.
Yeah. So like yeah, I think his issues like his armor is it does suck, right? Like it's super easy to punish, and it has essentially no like vertical hitbox, right? So that's a massive issue for him. But yeah, I would agree on I would agree on B tier. Nitara. I don't know much. I feel like I lose to this character more than I should because I'm panicking. Honestly, I'm just gonna give it away and just give it straight to Cowboy. What do you think she stands?
Bottom of A, top of B. She definitely takes risk, which other characters don't, but she gets to run her game a lot. Honestly, like yes, she is punishable. If she's wrong on something, but she pretty much always gets to play her game. And I'm sure she has hard matchups, but I think there's something to be said for that. Obviously, she does big damage. Uh, Pretty strong neutral, honestly, because you're just always afraid of the X dive kick or an extra float or even her back four is I think pretty damn good in neutral sometimes. Her armor move isn't the best; it's just okay. But yeah, I think she's a decent character for sure.
King Junior, what would you place? What would you place Nitara? The best, uh, the best character with the best voice acting.
Oh no, not the Megan Fox.
Oh,
Sorry, I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. You guys know me. I had to take a cheap shot at Megan Fox.
yeah, she sucks.
Yeah, she did
But yeah,
butcher.
sorry. Go ahead.
She did butcher one of our beloved 3D era characters that we finally got to see for the first time in decades. But
Dude, I don't think I've ever seen the a lack of care for fucking video game than I heard and I keep hearing in her voice. But okay, I'll stop. Go ahead.
um, I would say low A tier. Man, our B tier is getting kind of clogged with 8 characters. I will say, but
Yeah, I know, I know, I know.
um, but the EX dive kick is one of the best like aerial moves in the game. Her lunge attack is a pretty good reversal punisher. Like if somebody does something punishable from decently far range, like a fatal blow maybe that's hard to punish normally for some characters, she can lunge, Farah ambush full combo. Yeah, bad armor. It's a high. It can get crouched, and it's also unsafe on block. She can't make it safe with a Farah, like which is probably
And
her
she
best
has low health,
cameo.
right?
Yeah, 900 health. Um, I will say actually though, I forgot. Darius is another good cameo with her though. I'm kind of stuck on the Natara Farah team, but Natara Darius has dirt too with the unblockable setups and stuff, and the wake up obviously Darius has
True, true.
now. Um, so I still stand with low A tier. Yeah, she's not represented enough in my opinion. Like the only Natara player that comes to mind nowadays for me is like the player Mars that played at Evo. And I know Filato used Natara for a bit. I don't know if he still plays anymore though. Um, yeah, and I remember Aphrodite was like an early Natara player, but I don't know if he plays anymore either. But yeah, I would say low A tier. I do wish her blood sacrifice gimmick was a little better, but um, yeah, low A tier, I think.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's move on. Talk about Omni Man. Um, where do I start? Honestly, I'm just gonna let Cowboy get the word on this pick. What do you stand about Omni Man in terms of the tier list and who his best cameo is?
Yeah, he. Okay, first of all, I definitely think he's a little downplayed. Like, there's people saying he's bottom five, which I don't agree
Yeah,
with.
I disagree.
I think that's stupid. Yeah, he's definitely not great, but he has some good things for him. Really great damage. Really just can skip neutral entirely. Like this character doesn't play pussies. You know, he kind of just flies around the screen. Depending on the cameo, can set up mix off of that, or get in for free. Yeah, one of the best armored moves in the game for sure. EX titties, you know.
I
Uh,
like. We gotta give Foxy
it,
credit for that.
yeah,
That
for sure.
Foxy, yeah.
It hits him pretty damn far away, and yeah, leads to big damage. Yeah, honestly, too, for apparently being so bad, is extremely popular. Like I use always, I fight him multiple times a day from different people. So yeah, I would say like a B tier character. That'd be my take on it. Best cameo, probably Movado. Is my feeling. I could see like Tremor though.
Yeah, I think the ability to get a juggle from, as you call it, EX titties.
Hmm.
It always makes me laugh.
No.
Even the super corny. Like I think it's a massive deal. And also I do believe like I know the character's supposed to be scrubby, but some of those conversions guys I look at the combos like Attack Potency, who's I feel like the premier Omni-Man player, if you watch Demon Lobby or whatever Coliseum, those conversions are not easy, man. Like um and that's my side take is calling this game scrubby. I dare you to attempt some of those combos, especially like in you know, competitive setting. That stuff is not easy to do. Um, but yeah, like he has to, again, and not the like Kitana type of character, right? Well, at least he has a fake overhead, but like he kind of has to open you up pretty much honestly if you're a strong defensive player, especially offline. So I would probably put him in B or C, maybe mid B, top C. Franco, what say you?
I would say his best cameo is Movado too. I think like the armored titties mind games you get is probably his best form of offense. Um, the only other cameo I could maybe think of outside Tremor is like Kung Lao with the low hat into like jump in mix. Um, I still think the armor mind games are stronger than the hard to blocks you get with Kung Lao though. I would say C tier, um, like high C tier. Um, like if his 1-2 didn't have a gap in it, I think that would be like a huge deal. His pokes aren't the best. Um, his jump kick is pretty annoying. The mega like the meter burn clap is pretty good. It's really only good with Movado though because of the conversions you get. And like some mind games off of meter burn Viltrumite stance in some cases, like to try to steal your turn. He's obviously built to be an anti zoner, but in a game with very weak zoning, he's not really filling that role so well. So he's just left with his armor mind games or hard to block setups, in my opinion. So I'd say high C tier.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, fair enough. Um, Next character, Peacemaker. I do believe Peacemaker has been underrated. There's some really annoying stuff with like jacks that they use, right? Because now the ground pound is full screen or what, hits full screen. They do the aerial people's elbow, whatever you want to call it, right? So that's a mind game. Um, has a decent projectile with the gunshot. It's not necessarily like the recovery or the speed. It's like the pace at which the gunshot travels. Like it can actually catch a lot of people like moving or like jumping, etc. Obviously the Eagly is one of the best projectiles in the game. It's just the cooldown that holds it back. Um, but doesn't really have a mix. 1-2 is great. It's like +3 the jab, right? It's the jab string rather. It's +3. It is hit confirmable. It's very good. But I feel like in a game again, like Cabo keeps saying, in a game of like really strong mix, he's just way too honest. And he's also kind of gimmicky. A lot of people don't know the matchup, and they kind of struggle. Just to give you a quick example, I beat the crap out of out of King Junior with Peacemaker and Jax. And when he learned the matchup like 2 days later, I was like, what do I do again? Like I don't know what to do, so I switched. But there are players who are trying and they do an okay job. But it's like to me, it's kind of obvious he's kind of like a B or C character. He's in a meta. He wants to zone, but is really not allowed to. Has not been allowed. Also, by the way, has one of the worst wake ups in the game by far. It's a high, doesn't do anything, even on hit. Completely useless. Um, I think he needs minor buffs, and I do believe that again he's in the BC tier range. Cowboy, your take on
Yeah, I
Peacemaker?
would say probably low B. Um, he does have some good things. He can run away from certain characters. His yeah, I think like you said with Jax, I think that's pretty damn strong. Just constantly able to stay in the air, right, and make you have to jump and shit. Decent zoning, um, good damage at least in some situations. I think his armor move is okay. Like I don't think it's as bad as you were saying, because if you're just gonna sit there and duck, then you're not like putting pressure on him. So I think it's definitely usable. Um, but yeah, obviously he's not meta, but can put in some work.
King Junior, where would you place Peacemaker?
I'd say C tier. Yeah, the weaknesses are pretty apparent, and he's not like really excelling in one specific thing. Um, Definitely has like one of the worst armor moves for sure. Like I'll sometimes like crouch under it for a little bit, but then like just tap block, and then he ends up like landing behind or in front of me. Like and that happens on accident sometimes. Like when I'm like trying to micro duck on Oki or something or whatever other situation, and it just has a lot of whiff recovery too. So um, yeah, I would say low C tier probably or something like that. Yeah, I don't. He can be annoying online, like, but offline he's a lot easier to fight. Like you don't have to. It's not as hard to floss block his elbow drop and stuff offline, and reacting to his projectiles are a lot easier offline and stuff. So I think especially offline he gets kind of held back a bit.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's move on. Talk about Quan Chi. I think honestly, man, I think Quan Chi's S tier.
Funny, very funny.
It's a bad joke. Okay, fair enough. Uh, Let me tell you about my real opinion. So I think honestly, Quan Chi sucks. Uh, unless you use Darius, then I think Quan Chi is actually good. How does that translate into tier list? I don't know, maybe B or C. Um, if you guys imagine fighting a character like Cage, right? You're just gonna get pressured all day long, all night long. You have no chance, right? Like you have to have some kind of defense. And obviously Quan Chi has almost no defensive options. But I'm sure even Cowboy would agree that Darius wake up, that makes a huge difference. And it actually is honestly it's the best wake up attack in the game. Cowboy, would you agree with that at least, right?
It's definitely one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I do believe that makes a big difference. But yes, if you have to constantly block, you get blown up on the ground. On the whether it's on the ground or standing, doesn't matter, right? You get blown up. That wake up does make a difference. However, yes, most people don't know the matchup. They get blown up. I have him top C, mid, low B. I don't know. Maybe I was a little bit up playing before. I don't know, but I do feel like he is not as bad as certain people believe, and he's not as bad as we initially believed. However, he's not as strong as I also initially believed as well. Because again, his stuff can be a little bit gimmicky, and a lot of people don't know the matchup. Cowboy, take it away.
Yeah, he's shit. I mean, not a good character at all. I don't think. Definitely C tier. He just the issue is it's like he just gets put in situations where he literally can't do anything. Like I can't take my turn back with him sometimes. Um, you get and yeah, I get that he has armor portal, but against good players, a lot of time what that means is like first of all, you're probably getting comboed if you put it out. I mean, they're gonna have to cut it short, because it's gonna kick in. But by that point, they've taken the hit of armor at least for a few seconds, and so you're just kind of back in the blender, forced to defend after you've already had to take a loss and getting it out. I think the other things too that are designed to be good just aren't, like stand for example, right? Like, yeah, if there's just standing in place, then it can work, but that's
That's a
not how this game is played. Like, people
100%,
are always moving
100%
forward,
false. I couldn't
huh?
get a I used Havoc, the top tier character we just
Right?
talked about earlier. I couldn't get a projectile out um
Damn,
against
you're
Franco earlier
forgetting your
playing as.
co-host's
I think
name. Holy shit.
no, I played Franco earlier. King Junior, Burrito Voorhees, or anything else you want me to say. But anyway, the point is, I couldn't get a projectile with Havoc because every time I would try, he will literally react and do it. So there's a lot of fucking downplaying going on here. And I'm telling you,
No,
I
no, no, no,
think,
no, no.
let me say this.
No.
I think I'm gonna keep it real. I think Franco's Gears is easier to fight than his Quan Chi. That's my opinion.
Damn,
Well, that's stupid.
that's kind of
I mean,
hurtful.
Well, it's
again,
a fact. It's a fact.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
like you, Havoc shouldn't be doing that though. That's the thing. If he moves forward an inch, in fact, by the way, I've had Havoc like backdash and make it miss, like not even forward dashing, but backdashing.
No, I'm not talking about that. You're missing the point. I couldn't get a projectile because to his credit, King Junior Franco, by the way, I do remember the name. But anyway, the point is, I couldn't get a projectile without him reacting to the red blood animation, and like I literally couldn't get it out ever, unless it was a Nokia situation, which obviously you can get it out, right? Because I'm in an advantage. So I think you guys are downplaying the fuck out
I
of the
didn't even
character.
say anything. Don't
I
say you
played him.
guys. Don't say you guys. I didn't say anything.
Okay, okay, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Singular, singular, not plural. Um, I tried the character when here's when I get frustrated, and I think you guys will agree with me in this. This is where we will agree instead of disagree. I played a cage player, and I put the green portal on the screen. He literally dashed through it.
Yeah,
No,
move
no,
doesn't work.
apps doesn't the move doesn't work. Like that's just garbage. I just got. It's like, dude, I knew what you were gonna do, yet I still couldn't stop you, right? Like, also, uh, hitting somebody with a head stomp doesn't do anything. They don't care. If you're the Quan Chi player and you hit somebody with a head stomp, you're losing, right? Like
Yeah, you're in a
I'm at
bad
a rate.
position because you don't
Yeah,
have good bus
exactly.
frames.
Exactly. So what I'm saying, and I think I said this on the Rio podcast or with you guys, like that should be like plus 20, right? And I
Something.
said Green Portal should should actually function, not to use Lord Brady's words, like it should actually function like actually properly, right? It should stop you from moving forward. You should be able to jump over it or like dash under it or some other garbage. Like no. So I actually agree with you. Like I'm like, the moves that are not working should be buffed. That includes Bone Cage. But again, I played Franco. I'm like, I did a he used Shang Tsung in this matchup. Like I did the Bone Cage, he blocked it, it literally punished me. Like okay, like so what's the point of this move? Like so I'm not gonna hit him with it like most of the time. So like what's the point of this move? So Cowboy, I 100% get you, man. I'm on your side. Those moves should be buffed, and I've argued for their buffs. But to say like the character shit, no, like I'm not on that train, bro. I'm just not.
I mean, dude, I'm telling you, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I play, I play T1000 and I play
Yeah.
Quan. And lately, I've kind of been just like switching back and forth between them, right, in Combat League or in sets. And like, all of a sudden, when I'm off of Quan, I can, magically beat these other people because I can actually, play the game and take my turn back. Whereas with Quan, I literally just get blown out. Like, because if you make one mistake, you're getting steamrolled, and that's just not viable at a high level. Like you, with Quan, you're basically signing up to have to make like twice threes as the other dude. It just isn't worth it ever. I don't see how
King,
it's gonna. He has no way to. Another last thing I'll say, just so we can move
fair
on.
enough.
But
Yeah, of course.
he has no way of stopping people from moving in at him. Like he has no tools. His projectile sucks. Armor portal is too moves pretty slow, and a lot of characters exploit that by just having an advancing hitbox. If down four hits, he doesn't get shit off of it because everything has a gap, and the portal's still too slow even with those plus frames. So people can just get in and bully him. Even characters that aren't really like rushdown characters can do that. So yeah, I think he's trash, not worth playing.
King Jr.
Do I sound okay? Am I bugging out or nothing? Or like earlier?
No, yeah, you're fine.
Like okay. Um, yeah, I know this is always a character we talk about a lot. I think a lot of like Orange Portal. Not going into detail too much, but I think it's exploitable. Like if you know how to fight against it, like I do, I really don't think it's the worst thing ever. Like if you can deal with it to some degree, like Cowboy said, you punish the orange portal at times. Like if they try to do it in neutral, which is a lot easier offline, or in block strings, if you manage to punish the orange portal summon and you like get a few hits in and you get like the armor to come up, you hit the armor as you're juggling him. You can either try to enforce your Oki or just back away immediately. And by that point, you stalled maybe like 3-4 seconds of that orange portal, which means he has to then move the portal wherever you're moving. Then he has to get up off the ground, try to scurry back to the opponent with the orange portal as he's moving it, and try to get like a few licks in. And if he guesses wrong a few times, he's just losing out on damage, and he just kind of lost that whole exchange of sequences. So that's just like the orange portal topic. He really can't take his turn much. Like you guys said, armor like stomp is really bad on Oki. Like I wish like the telestomp like he like kicked you and you like slid across the floor like full screen or something instead of just jumping off next to you and then you know having Oki like right next to the opponent because obviously it's not where he wants to be. Um, yeah, if he's not able to take his turn like a majority of the time, your opponent's just building bar and it kind of forces the Quan player to flawless block, and at that point you're still really not taking your turn. So it's kind of I don't know. You're pretty much just mixing up the overhead stomp, like the down plus 4 to 4, and doing like sweep or back three. But obviously, every time you do back three, it could be an armor gap punish. So I don't know. I outside the portal stomp, the down plus 4 to 4 mix, like he really doesn't have anything going for him. Um, Green Portal and Bone Cage should not be as exploitable as they are either. Like I think that's nonsense. Back two is like a useless normal that is never going to hit anybody at a high level. So I don't know. It's just yeah. There's no way to keep an opponent out with Quan. He's always going to get approached by characters.
Oh,
Yeah,
do you have
you
any?
undersell how bad he is, dude. You don't understand.
I
No,
I,
I
I
do.
would say C
I
tier.
also
He's a
understood
bottom
that.
two character for me. C tier.
Uh, I think a lot of people also play the character wrong. They're trying to zone. This is not a zoning game. You have to get the armor portal out and you have to start mixing. That's the game. If you just try to zone, then yeah, you have no chance. But like the point of the not the character, the game is just to get the armor portal out, which makes him essentially it is in. I know it's a peculiar manner to think about it, but it is your zoning tool because that stops people from mashing, from pressing buttons, etc., etc., and then you get your offense going. If you try to zone too much, you're just gonna get blown up because you can't build enough meter. You can't demand that respect because people are just gonna flawless block. That's what's gonna happen, and I think there is that misconception that people think this game, not this game, but that you can like zone. If you zone too much in this game, you're just gonna get blown up. The way zoning works in this game, if you have a great projectile, you use it to build your meter, and then you use that meter to put armor to whatever extent that is. Obviously, for Sector it's different, which we'll get into later, than for Quan. That's how Havoc works. That's how Sector works. That's how Kung Lao works when he was great. Now he's not. That's how zoning will be, always was, and is in this game. With that said, you guys can put the character in any tier you want, but let's move on to Raiden. Um, Incredibly vanilla. I don't know what else to say. Probably honestly, now with Sector's nerfs, C tier. He's got to be C tier now. Way too honest. Way too. They nerfed his best special. They gave him like essentially a garbage buff. Um, has good staggers though. Like has good like down four and certain strings, but crap projectile has a worse teleport than Cyrex by the way. In terms of recovery frames. Um, it's just like it's just like whatever. Like I mean, if I had to, when I think of Raiden, I'm like, yeah, if the other guy is better than me, he's gonna beat me. But if he's not, he's gonna get blown up. Cowboy.
Yeah, Raiden's really fallen. I think maybe I said this in the podcast, but basically, yeah, he's just way too honest. He's just a footsie character, which isn't good in this game. The dirt that he had, the EXL, was nerfed into the ground and just isn't good anymore. And I feel like they just didn't give him anything to like make him focus on,
Compensate. Yeah.
right? There was no like, and I acknowledge that that needed to be nerfed at least a bit. I think they over nerfed it, but he just doesn't have anything that's cheap now. And yeah, I don't know what that whole new move was about. That shit is literally just trash. Like I don't see any of the Raidens use it because you just can't. He goes away on block. Yeah, he's not good at all. Horrible armor move too.
Oh yeah, that as well. Yeah. Yeah, I think his strengths lie in his strengths. Because standing two is really strong, right? Cowboy, you would agree, right? Like the
Yeah.
staggers with that.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, man, if you're like competing against Homelander and Havoc and the oh man, good luck to you, bro. You're just gonna get bodied. And again, the armor move is way too slow, and it's not like cancelable the way it was in MK11. The Superman. So yeah,
Hmm.
you're just gonna have issues, man. Like it's rough. But again, has like great standing two, great down four. Um, but yeah, it's can't say too. There are not that many. They destroyed Storm Cell. The move is essentially useless now. They went way too hard in on that, and they gave him my quote unquote compensation with his new move. I don't even know what it does because you never see it. So yeah, it's useless. Um, yeah, it's rough. It's rough, and I don't understand why Cyrax has less recovery frames on her teleport than he does. Yeah, man. Like that's why you never see the character. It's a perfect example why nerfs ruin a game. Like, and he is a perfect example of that. Um, King Jr., what say you about the God of Thunder?
Shit, not no more. Uh, yeah, yeah, his footsies are just kind of underwhelming, and his down four is good, but like his forward four, his forward two, like those are his like footsie normal starting combo, like combo starters, and they're just pretty slow. doesn't really have much dirt outside of like back two, and even though Stormstall got nerfed, like it, I think it's like usable. But yeah, obviously it's not doing as much chip as before. It's not like safe at most distances like before. Like you pretty much need an ambush in order to use it. I do think Tremor is probably his best cameo. Um, but yeah, he's too honest in a game full of mix and stuff like that, and the whole discharge gimmick and like the warrior predator MKX esque like play style that they tried giving him just does not work. Like it's way too situational, and I think there's potential. It's just whether they actually reach that potential in these potential upcoming patches or patch. I don't know. Um, I do like the idea what they're trying to go for, but just with how it is currently, it's just not effective at all. Yeah, I would say he's easily C tier, like probably low C tier.
Yeah, I think we agree. Next up, Rain. Speaking of thunder and whatever, um, I think Rain has got to be A tier. I think Rain is really good for all the wrong reasons, by the way, which we were lied to, and I'm still gonna keep
Oh
spamming
my
that
god.
button. But I know I've got to, but yeah. Ironically, everything about Rain is excellent aside from his zoning. Like if he could build, if he could like build more meter from far away, and if he could control you more from far away, he would like be easy S tier. But yeah, you have everything aside from the projectiles, right? Like, you have a, they gave him a brain dead, not brain dead. The character's not brain dead, but like they buffed him in a very like quote unquote brain dead manner because it's just any character with like what is that stupid thing? Back three, back four, I
Right.
forget.
Back three.
Yeah, it's essentially like a an Einstein of a tool of homelessness forward four, right? Like because it's associated with the cancel, so you kind of have to actually think. Aside, the homeless just gonna throw his shit out. So the character's just very strong. Has the conversions, has an overhead that's Kareth throwable. He has literally everything aside from a zoning tool, which he doesn't have. So he kind of can have issues building that meter from a far range, controlling you, putting you into his position at that far range. But yeah, essentially has everything else with Janet. Like you name it, he has it. Uh, throw combos, he has them. Has good damage. Again, you name it, he has it, but doesn't have really what he was advertised as, which is ironically why he's not S tier. That's why I put him into A. Cowboy.
Yeah, he's great. I mean, yeah, back three is one of the most brain dead footsie tools in the game, no doubt. He can cancel it. Which, by the way, that was even a little bit better now because his projectile has less recovery. That
Correct.
was a change that was done. Really great. One of the best armor moves in the game, I think. Obviously it launches with his best cameos, Janet being the best one. Yeah, you can't really contest him in neutral. It's hard to really to zone him because of the bubble and because his even though it's not like a great tool, his kind of overhead raindrop is can be surprisingly good in zoning. I wouldn't say he's a zoner, but it can work. Yeah, he has everything you need. Good low pokes too. So I think yeah, A tier would be a definitely good place for him.
King Junior.
Yeah, I would put him low A tier too. Definitely has some good pokes. I think the only thing that really holds him back like a lot is his dash movement isn't the best. He is pretty slow in that regard, but yeah, everywhere else outside of his zoning and his movement, he's pretty much got everything.
So you put him in A tier as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he has a good jump kick too.
I mean,
Jump 3-2 is really annoying to deal with, and it still OS is on block if you block it. It like auto corrects a stand too.
yeah, yeah. Reiko. Reiko is
Ooh,
S tier.
ooh.
Uh,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I think like you guys already know. Like again, if you watch this podcast, then you probably still play the game or you at least watch it. I'm not going into the detail, so I'm not going to get into the details because you guys probably don't understand. But one thing I will say, as somebody who, like, I'm like amazed how strong is like his footsies are. what is it, back three or standing? I don't know what they're
Right.
using. Like that can like randomly catch you out of nowhere. Like you could literally like with a down one, if they're standing at the right range, that can just like absolutely like annihilate you. And don't let the Reiko players lie to you. Like, yes, the stars are no longer a zoning tool, but if they use it at the right range, like in footsies, they're still great. Like it's still a great like footsie tool. It's no longer a great zoning tool as it used to be, but if they use it at the right range, it's still a good tool. It's also good in like strings, right? They'll throw something stupid out in in strings. They will throw out the EX stars and it'll call tremor and that's gonna launch you. I think that's really really good. I think that's really really strong. The character has the mix. It's kind of like Rain. He kind of has everything except the zoning, right? And if he had the zoning, he would be better than Homelander. But he since he doesn't, and he kind of like has to come in certain matchup, that kind of holds him back a little bit, which is his weakness. But I still think he's S tier because of his again, footsies, damage, mixed. Yeah, Cowboy, do you disagree
Yeah.
or do you
I
agree?
totally agree. I mean, this character is crazy. I honestly don't understand why he was buffed. He, yeah, has a great, as you said, great footsie tool with the stars. It's not really about zoning. He has, yeah, crazy, just kind of almost misleading normals, like the way, like how far away they can hit. Um, Command grab, obviously, especially with Tremor, is just ridiculous damage off of a mix up. He can really do like running mix ups at you because, again, with Tremor, right, he can do the normal into safety with Tremor or just the straight up grab. Great pokes. I think it's his down four. That's really good. He can get plus frames pretty easy too because he has the jab string and then also that one that not the overhead but the other one that
Back
looks like an
two.
overhead. So it's plus
Oh, never
eight,
mind. Never mind. Yeah.
which again I don't understand why that's so plus. Uh,
Yeah, that move's
and
awesome.
then I mean, yeah, his armor move is good enough. Like it gets the job done. I believe he can launch off of it if he wants to
Yeah,
with Tremor,
ground
but
pound.
usually they save it. Yeah. Yeah, he has everything. It's even possible, in my opinion, that he's the like top two. Very possible.
Yeah, I don't think he's better than Homelander. I don't think.
Probably
But
not.
yeah, yeah, he's not. But I agree with you on. Yeah, there's like so many things. Like we didn't even mention the down four, which is again, it's been
Yeah,
strong for a long time, and also the running grab. I think the aerial, like it
yeah,
does like what?
Ariel.
Does like what? 21%? Like what?
Yep.
Like
Yep.
Crazy man.
21%.
hey, it's like a Quan Chi combo. Combo. It's like a Quan Chi
Yeah, by itself. You're right.
by itself. They call it tremor. Yeah, like I think he's kind of like Homelander. I know Kyle will disagree, like done right, because you don't see too many of them, and you have to know the conversions, and you actually have to know how to play footsies, right? Because Homelander players they just do down four, and you essentially can't do anything, right? Like it just kills you. But I feel like with him, there's a better balance between what you have to know and the results. And yes, he he is stronger maybe than he should be, even though I like it. But yeah, I like the way they redesigned him. I think it's a redesign done right, and it's strong, and I'm glad that he's at the place that he's in. But yeah, does it feel good eating those combos and getting destroyed? No, it doesn't. But I will give NRS props for what they did. Uh, King Jr., where do you stand on Reiko?
I think I like watching him, and I don't mind playing against him. I think his command grab, like his reaping the whirlwind, is called the running grab. I think their vision on it was the 2 bar command grab does 21%. Let's make the running command grab for 1 bar do 21% as well. I think that's like kind of an oversight. I think they should definitely just not like reduce the damage on that command grab just a little bit. As much as I love my grapplers, but outside that, I think how he is designed is awesome. Like how he plays is cool. Um, I think he does have like an awkward like mid range. Like if he's not like outside of his down four, he really doesn't have like a go to mid. Like I know like he has his back three, but his back three raw is like minus 14. and if he does the back 3-4, you can duck under it. So he doesn't have like a go-to mid string to just cram down your throat 24/7 because his forward one is like kind of stubby, but it's also 16 frames. But yeah, I would say he's probably low S tier. He's the people's champ, man. He's one of my favorite characters to watch and play as. I just as far as
Yeah, I
story
agree.
goes,
Yeah, he's not boring. Yeah.
yeah, as far as story goes though, and I know this isn't really talking about story much, but I just don't like how much of a simp he is for Shao Kahn, dude. It's just like cringe. But yeah, in
Yeah, no, I
tournaments,
agree.
he's
Yeah,
the
his
people's champ.
status. Yeah, yeah, he's fun to watch. That's for sure.
You
And
guys
he,
like him a lot more than I do, that's for sure.
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah, yeah, fair
So
enough.
a low S
Well, let's
tier.
move on because we got to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. Reptile. Um, so Reptile in the older games used to be, especially in MK9, even you know, shout outs to Legacy Collection, used to be about, especially in like Ultimate or Trilogy, it used to be about kind of like a guile type character, like like you throw out the force ball and then you kind of do your stuff. But essentially, the force ball is really limited in this game. It's mostly used as a combo tool. If you want the really good force ball, then you probably have to waste meter. I feel like that kind of ruins the character, and it has resulted in a much weaker character. Again, I don't think any character in this game is bad, but it's like, man, I wish I could do a force ball and do something else with it, but it it's not the way the character works in this game. However, I feel like he's C tier, because they kind of turned him into like a generic footsie character with really bad fireballs. And while he does work, I think he's just too weak. And a lot of the buffs that he got, like a safe overhead, why was that always unsafe for no reason? Like, a lot of the strings that used to be unsafe on a flawless block, why were they ever unsafe? Like a lot, it's just like common sense. Those things should have never been unsafe anyway. So I feel like he suffers because they tried to redesign him and then they kind of failed. Cowboy, what say you?
Yeah, I he's almost to me like an MK11 character. He's just basically neutral. That's pretty much it. Very low stakes mix-ups. I would say he's probably a C tier character personally. His what does the normal of a stand for? The tail.
Yeah, yeah,
Stand
yeah,
three,
That is
stand three.
legitimately stand
yeah.
three.
That
Stand
is
three.
good. Yeah, that one's good.
Legitimately a good footsie tool, but I'd say that's
It's
just about
good.
all he has. Um, and even that can be a little gimmicky sometimes. Yeah, he's just okay. Again, in a game where like if the good characters weren't absolutely broken, I think he'd be fine. But we can't compete with that.
King Junior.
Yeah, I kind of have like a little more optimism for Reptile, but like I guess in this meta I would say C tier. Like I think his biggest weakness, honestly, like force balls being like one of them, but like I think his biggest weakness is like his armored move is horrible. Like he can't like do
Oh
armored
yeah,
move
yeah.
into
It's pretty.
Not
ambush.
very good. Yeah.
Like he can combo off of it with some characters on hit, like with an ambush, but yeah, like his armor. I think his armor holds him back like the most, honestly, out of all of his other weaknesses that he already has. Back three having an armor gap's not
And that,
ideal
and
either.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. That gap, if you fight like, I don't know, like a Kung Lao or Havoc, that can be also a massive issue, right? What is that string? Is it
Back
is
three
it
one,
back? What is it?
back three
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, like I think
I
those
didn't
kind of
think of
hold
that.
him
That's
back.
probably terrible.
Yeah. I
That
think
matchup has to be really bad.
yeah, it could be. I use a little bit of reptile and yeah, he's kind of like his whole game plan is to mix you up while you're invisible, but again, getting that initial hit can be tricky sometimes. So, like, when he's invisible, yeah, he's a lot better, but you're not always invisible. So, yes, I would say C tier.
Okay. Let's talk about Scorpion. Um, Honestly, I don't have too much to say. I think Scorpion Farah is either low S or top of A. Cowboy.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. He's a really strong character. I mean, he's been consistently represented. Really, I'd say he's more of a turtle character, at least in most matchups, and he can counter zone too, of course. Yeah, I back three. Obviously, brain dead with Farah, just into mix up. He can get, like I said, mobility, pretty decent damage, armored launcher with certain cameos. He does have to choose that. Yeah, I think he's a very strong character. He doesn't have many weaknesses.
King Junior, where would you play Scorpion?
S like low S tier. He's very cut and dry. There's really not much to say about him. He's literally just back three into Farah and has throw combos with the cameo too. And yeah, he's pretty turtley as well. Like Cowboy said, I'd say like low S tier. There's really not much to say about him. Like honestly, he's so cut and dry, and this is like the most boring iteration of Scorpion they've ever made.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. Um, let's move on. Talk about Sector. Um, I don't know, man. I feel like she got nerfed a good amount, and I don't feel. I feel like she didn't need those nerfs. Why are we nerfing runaway quote unquote armor characters when we know that that makes runs the meta? So I have an A, but really low A, and it also doesn't help that Homelander is, well, not probably, is the best character in the game, and I think that's the worst matchup. So she's like being really, like, kept away from being used a lot more than she's being used less when she should be used more, right? Because of that one bad matchup, because the Homeland just happens to be the best character in the game. Um, I've always been, yes, I've been a little bit biased and more of a sector down player, but man, I just, let me just give you this example. Tech, which is the Brazilian player who won one of the majors in Brazil, and Brazil is one of the best scenes for Mortal Kombat 1. Do you guys know which character he's using now? You will be shocked. Cowboy, take
Who?
a guess.
Homelander.
Take a, oh wow, Cowboy! Congrats, you got it. So honestly, man, if people wanted even to put her in B tier, I wouldn't even argue with them. Honestly, man, maybe that's more of a hot take, but I just feel like she took a dump, especially with the, again, with her nerves on top of, like, on top of on top of Striker being buffed and all that stuff. Cabo, what do you stand on the current
Yeah.
sector?
I think. Well, I've been pretty consistent in saying too. I think you did overrate her a little bit. She definitely. To me, she's just a counterpick character. She has some very advantageous matchups where I think the other person can do very little. But in terms of just overall strength, I think she can't always compete with every character. I think she has some trouble sometimes. Has the armored launcher still, which is very strong and annoying. Zoning is pretty good. She's just an example, of how like defensive characters for the most part in this game aren't really good because they zone. It's just because they can like repeatedly not interact with you. She can hold back, hold back. You're in armored launcher Mataro, or hold back, Mataro back at the other screen. Like it's very dull, but she's an okay character.
Would you place her in A or B?
Bottom of A, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Franco, what do you stand on sector?
I never really minded her, and I've played your Sector a lot. Back when you used her. Uh, Now I would say with her nerfs, I might even put her in B tier. Honestly, with how she is right now, I'm just I think those tiny little nerfs that she got, like yeah, sure, like the scale of each nerf she got was like small, but they all add up, and the meter building one especially, like I think hurts the worst. Like just with how important meter is in this game, and that means less armor opportunities for her, which is like her best form of offense. So I think that really like hurt her pretty badly. I would say she's like B tier.
Yeah. But can you repeat what you said? I just want to make sure you didn't. Um, Cowboy, can you hear him?
What's up?
Can you hear Franco?
He's cutting out a little bit. I think his internet's unstable or something.
Yeah. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Um,
Am I good now?
boys and girls, we might have lost them.
Am I good now? Yeah.
Uh,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah. We can finally hear you. Can you
Um.
say something again, please?
Yeah.
Okay. You're back. You're back. Like we couldn't hear you for like I don't know, like 10 seconds. So we just want to make sure that you're still there and alive. So
Yeah. My apologies again on that. Yeah. I was just saying. Those tiny little nerfs that she got pretty much add up. Like especially the meter building nerf she got. That means that she's not enforcing armor mind games as much as she once could, and that was like her best form of offense. So I think she's like a B tier character now, like in this meta after her nerfs.
honestly, I agree. But let's move on. Possibly talk about another B or C tier character, and that's Shang Tsung. Cabo, you use this character in MK11 a lot. He was your main. How does he do in this version of the game?
He's terrible. He first of all, I mean, as we know, zoning is not good in this game, so that just automatically limits him. But then added on top of that, like even in the context of this game, I think his zoning sucks. Like I think there's a number of characters that can just straight up outzone him or get around his zoning like very easily. His kind of best thing on is down three, and then save armor, and
Yeah,
then also like down three spikes. But that to me is just so underwhelming. Like he cannot compete with the meta characters. Uh, Way too much work for way too little reward. I just don't think he has a place in the game.
I agree. Not only do I agree with your initial comments, I especially agree with your final comments. I think this character just requires way too much work for what he's worth. Like it would be okay for him to like be mid tier, but if he were easy to use, but just like dude, like one of the most frustrating things is was like when you hit the ground skull and it randomly like pushes them
Yeah,
front or
you can't
back,
tell.
like
You
dude, I
can't
mean
tell
you
where it's gonna
have
put
to
him.
be like, oh my god. I don't know how Wraith does it,
He
and he
misses it
completely.
sometimes too. I mean,
I
because
know
it's
he
just
does, but it's just
not
like,
possible.
why is that still in the game? Like, that shouldn't even be a thing. Like, that's just again, it's one of those things. It's just like the move doesn't work properly. Like, it should either like propel you forward or backward. Like, why is there like you know, why is there a variation? There should be no such thing. So again, can you lose to a really strong player? Shang Tsung play, yes, you can, but it's just like, why would anybody use this character? Like, it's just too much work for what he's worth, and that's why almost nobody uses him. And I think you see it in the results. Aside from maybe Wraith and maybe one other player,
Well, I was gonna
nobody
say
really.
Face Owl is the best Shang Tsung in my opinion. He has the most
Oh yeah,
results.
true. Yeah, fair. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, definitely.
He's really good with them. But again,
Yeah,
even then, it's like he can't stay on them. He had to switch multiple times because the character just doesn't provide enough. He doesn't have enough tools.
yeah, and it seems
And
like
he says Shang should be massively buffed too. By the way,
yeah, and it seems like Tremor's doing most of the work anyway. So
yeah, it's either Tremor or Goro. I think are his best.
yeah, and I do believe maybe he doesn't need that many buffs if you buff Goro a bit more, right? Because I think maybe that would be fair. Yeah, I know
Hmm.
you like forcing, um, a character to the cameo, vice versa, but like I think that would like having less cool Goro, that is having less cooldown on the up punch would like be a huge buff. Not like significantly less, but like it does feel like it should be more. And I don't know why Goro has a um, HP penalty for what reason. I'm not really quite sure. Yeah, it's an issue. Uh, King Junior, what do you say about Shang Tsung?
Um, Yeah, he's just for the amount of effort you have to put in, it just doesn't match the reward you get with him. Like you get like a low tier character with the effort you put into him. Uh, Ideally, if Faisal maybe knew the Wraith setups and used Goro, maybe you could argue Shang being a little higher. I don't know, but like the morph moves that he steals from the cameos for the most part are useless. The variation and hit stun or hit reaction on the upskulls is super annoying. Um, yeah, his zoning's weak. There's not much to really say about him other than just being a high effort, low reward character. Like Garrus is like a high effort character, but he's pretty rewarding, and I think that's like a better example of that situation in a character.
Yeah, good point.
I'd say
Good
C
point.
Yeah, I
tier.
don't
Yeah,
get. I'll just yeah, C tier for sure. I'll go back. Like, why are the ground skulls just so bad? Like, not only are they like, yeah, the annoying thing we talked about, where like you can't tell where they're gonna get launched, but then they're also slow as fuck. They have kind of a shitty hitbox, and they're negative. So it's like, what's the upside? Oh, and by the way, the damage scaling is just fucking terrible, even when it
they
lands.
nerfed that, right? Didn't they? In a patch, right? Didn't they?
I don't. If they did that was a long time ago. I think it's always been
Yeah,
pretty low.
yeah,
But yeah, he sucks. I don't. Might as well not be in the game.
yeah. I will go if NRS by some chances listening. I do like the concept of the stand switching, but even I think that is kind of like questionable. Again, it's okay to have like a quote unquote high execution, high demanding character, but it's like they shouldn't be this weak though. That's kind of what it
Yeah,
feels like. If I want to put in effort, I expect the character to be strong, not low tier after after I have put in all the effort. Again, he's not useless. Again, I don't believe in bad characters in this game because of the cameo system, for better or worse. But like, yeah, it's just like, why would you use this when you can, I don't know,
yeah. I will say
get
like
drunk? It's only Homelander.
his the only thing I do love his design, like the morphing concept. Like it's really cool. It's like one of my favorite designs in this game. Honestly, it's just simply like not effective, and like young Shang, like I don't like I always harp on this about young Shang, but like why is the air skull projectile like arcing upward and not downward? Like it's like one of the worst, if not the worst, aerial projectile in
Yeah.
the
Oh my
game.
God. Yes. Yeah. That's really bad. Yeah. That is bad.
Like Young
Yeah.
Shang
That movie is such
overall is
like
just kind of bad. Like outside of like Bed of Spikes, like yeah, Young Shang just kind of you're almost always going to use old Shang.
I don't know that. I mean, maybe this is just getting into nitpicking here. I actually don't agree with that. I do
Really,
think that young one is better
really.
because you. I mean, really, because you have the spikes. Yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah, I guess
Because
you
you
do
get the
get the armored
spikes,
launcher
and then
too.
more importantly, you get the armored launcher. Like that's better than anything. Like, in fact, I think old Shang is garbage. Like the reason you have to morph into him sometimes is because yeah, it's easier to launch with it. But yeah, again, that's the type of thing where like that level of depth and nuance is not required by like any other character. You don't they other characters don't have to make choices like that. They just get to be strong like all the time, like Rico or Homelander or Havoc.
Yeah, like a really small nitpick too. Like his 1 2 4 string, like how they buffed the hit reaction
Yeah,
on, or they made a special cancelable or whatever. Like
cancelable. Yeah.
why can you
hmm
not land up skulls after that string? Like it just whiffs. It doesn't hit in time.
I,
It's just like
yeah, I don't know.
I thought they made that special cancelable so you can do up skull into it, but it doesn't connect in time, so it just whiffs. And I'm like,
I think it's
why?
more just about like conditioning with spikes. That's probably what they intended.
Yeah,
But yeah,
that's like another nitpick too, like that I'll put out there. And yeah, it's just yeah, I don't like how little reward he like. The only other niche you could say he has is having timer stall combos with the up skulls and scorpion cameo, but like nobody's doing that
right.
realistically. That's like the only other thing you can
No,
maybe
no.
argue.
Yeah. For sure. I remember playing Franco's Shang Tsung, and I think I was using Havoc, and like I'm random like dash in, and he would whiff. a ground skull, and it's like, wait, he's still punishable. Like,
Yep.
wait, I know it's so weird. And then, by the way, this is a character who can like randomly roll half screen away and take away 50% of your life. So it just seems very, very strange. Like I know for a fact that NRS is scared of zoning, but like guys, this is so obviously bad. Like, can you do something about it? Like, and they just haven't. And
Yeah.
uh,
And then
yeah,
it does no damage when it hits. So yeah, great.
yeah, it's just not very good. But let's move on to Shao Kahn, or should I say General Shao? Um, I feel like either A or B. Um,
B. Wow.
well, again, it has to do with the recent striker buffs. I feel like that definitely like has quote unquote upset the meta. I don't know. I mean, what do you guys? I think you guys already know. Like he's very strong, right? It's just a matter of he is mashable, right? Like if you fight him, even the best of the best Shao Kahn players, yes, they're the best at countering the mashing, but they still have to deal with the mashing. The fact that he doesn't really have an advancing mid that's really really strong really hurts him. But obviously, standing two is on its own is broken, right? Because you can never do anything about it. But the fact that that's high and the fact that Shao Kahn players think that should be a myth it's
Yeah.
hilarious to me. But yeah, I think realistically, probably low A, maybe top, the best of the best of B, Cowboy.
Well, I mean, I think saying he's B tier is crazy. That doesn't make any sense. I will say that I do think his stocks have fallen quite a bit, like just in terms of where we thought of him maybe like a year ago. Because yeah, as you said, he first of all, let's talk about the positives. He does have great damage, um, really brain dead mix, very good synergy with some of the best cameos like Tremor and Sector.
Yeah, has been
Um,
hurt by the sector nerf as well, by the way, just like Kung
a
Lao,
bit,
right?
yeah, a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he can definitely be mashed on. And he has to sort of set up his offense a little bit more than like the S tier characters do, right? By getting the axe on the ground and all that. Great armored move. It's one of the best in the game. In fact, I would say. Also a great jump in. But yeah, I would say A tier. I don't think there's any chance he's B.
King Jr., what do you stand with General Shao?
Yeah, I think he's no lower than A. It does suck he gets mashed on a lot. I used Shao a little bit, and it was definitely an annoyance to deal with. But yeah, he still has 1100 health, and debatably his best cameo Tremor gives him 1200 health. Stand 2 is obviously really good. Jump 2 is really good. Um, Decent armor move. 10 frames. Yeah, I'd say A tier, no lower than A tier.
Yeah, he is a character like people still use him a lot and people get results, right? So maybe like somebody like Dialogue, right? He gets pretty much consistently top eight. At the worst, he plays like what ninth, right? So the character, I think, like Cowboy said, like unlike the top tiers, kind of requires some kind of setup to get his offense going. So while the setups make him unique, they also kind of quote unquote nerf him, right? Like because you have to like know what you're doing. So and the fact that again he doesn't really have a strong projectile, can be mashed on, etc., etc. So probably like low A would be appropriate. Uh, let's talk about Sindel. I think Sindel is still S tier. Um, I mean, you guys already know. I really don't have much to say. Just like forward, what is it? Forward one, right? Is the hair shrink, right?
Yeah,
Like went
Yeah.
from
Word one.
yeah, went from like high mid to high mid, correct? So
Yeah.
that did refer because there's like less of a chance if you hit a low, you're gonna get clipped, right? That was a massive nerf, kind of like I think it's comparable to the nerf that Cyrex got, like not in terms of like the analogy, but like in terms of the effects, right? So that was a massive nerf, but she's still very strong. She has good projectiles. Pimpic, Tremor, or Kung La. I don't know which one's better. Maybe it depends on the matchup. But yeah, I mean, she's just like when you're mid range, you're scared, right? Like you're like, oh my god, if I get hit, I'm gonna get blown up, and that's why she's strong. Cowboy, what say you?
Yeah, she's an S tier character. Really like decent zoning, especially in certain matchups. Uh, really annoying, dumbass mind games with the float. Like one of the best jumps in the game because of that, I think. Also a great jump normal with jump three. And then yeah, really the bit thing though that makes her an S tier character is the mix. Like, she does tremor, she does back two, which is a mid, and then you're guessing for your life bar pretty much. It's a matter of when she's going to do the low pound or her jump in. Um, has a pretty good, not as good, but still pretty good version of that with Kung Lao as well, which she gets to set up for free off of a combo. Yeah, very strong character. One of the most downplayed for some reason, but has everything you need.
King Junior.
Yeah, I would say she's also like another cut and dry character, like the back two in the mix. Not as like oppressive as she used to be, like the forward one nerfs and the health nerf she did get. Um, Kung Lao and Tremor, her main cameos, pretty much decent armor move, pretty good aerial zoning. Uh, One thing you guys hear me still?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, okay. I thought I lost you guys for a second. Um, Her reversal down back one like meter burn is poke like a punish pokes. It's like pretty specific, but that's like a tool she has that doesn't always get mentioned or is forgotten about. She could launch people off of that in the corner, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, outside of that, she's pretty cut and dry. She's kind of just mixing you to death, and I would say she's like a low S tier character. And yeah, her jump kick is obnoxious to deal with. Hits on both sides,
yeah.
like it's
Yeah.
easy to
Anytime she
convert
chooses to
off
go in
of.
the air, you're guessing.
Yeah.
Cowboy, can you finish that thought? I think you guys kind of.
Like, sorry, yeah, I was just saying. Any basically, she just by existing and pressing up, she's enforcing a guess that's massively in her favor whenever she
Yeah,
wants.
exactly. On top of like you said, like having like decent projectiles and yeah, like can run away and then like force you to come in. Not in all matchups, right? It depends.
Right.
But yeah, she's just very strong.
Oh yeah, her four
Um,
four, her four
Smoke, who's
four is
one
a
of the
under. Her 4-4 is not talked about enough either. Like a pretty good like
yeah.
mid as well. Yeah, sorry to cut you off.
Yeah.
It's I had to get that off my chest for some
No, it's
reason.
okay. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Smoke. I've been watching Tragic, and obviously before Tragic there was Nasty. I don't know, man. I might be wrong, but I feel like this character's underrated.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think he's at least B. I'm not trying to make like
B.
personal. Yeah, at least. Um, I feel like, man, I'm not trying to like take cheap shots like the way I used to do when I used to troll the smoke community, but I feel like most smoke players are not good enough. Like, what they want is they want like back to is the back to, is that the overhead? They want that to be like 20 frames. That would completely
Right.
break the game and make the game super scrubby. But I feel like you have to know the cancels. And Striker just got buffed, who's one of his best cameos, if not the best, along with Tremor. Um, he's a character like he doesn't have the best mix like in the neutral, and again, that's one of his weaknesses, along with his defense is kind of weak like on the ground. But like when he gets the stuff going, he can just like absolutely like annihilate you. Like and also like he's very difficult to zone, very difficult to keep in place. I think I would honestly place him like super low A. Probably do you agree? I know like a lot of people like if they could they would strangle us, but like do you agree with
Mm.
that or am I up playing?
Well, if they're gonna strangle us, I'm getting killed because I have a hot take. I think he could be S tier, hundred
Wow,
percent.
that is a hot take. Yeah, that is a
Yeah,
hot
I
take.
mean the synergy with Stryker is just fucking insane. Like, and you mentioned earlier about how like, oh well, he doesn't have a way in neutral. Yes, he does.
Yeah,
He just calls a cameo and then does whatever he wants. Like it was the same thing with Sector. Puts out the missile, goes invisible, and basically you can't do shit now. You're just gonna guess. Like there's no neutral. If cameos weren't in the game, then maybe we could talk about that. But that's not the reality. He
yeah,
gets his shit set up for free, and even more than that, like his armor move, which I will admit, on its own is not very good. But unless you have something really fast to break it, especially with Striker, he's just waking up for free and you're forced to block. It's his turn.
I agree. Yeah, it's a massive issue against Quan Chi. When I fight him, it's like, dude, this is just like
Just
annoying.
can't do anything. Like
Yeah, you can't do. Yeah, they're just
even like
spamming it.
T1000, like I have to hard commit to like my back one to break his armor and avoid Striker. Because if I do anything else, like even stand four, I'm getting hit by Striker, even if I break his
Yeah,
armor.
yeah.
So yeah, this character is absolutely batshit. Everyone who plays him is a down player. He's, I think, and the cancel is like, I do think his pressure is good because he can cancel it from so many different points. There's just no way you're going to be able to tell when he's going to do it. And then that opens up mind games, doing strings and invisibility. He's a crazy character. And yeah, of course, on top of everything else, does like 50%.
But what do you say to those smoke players who think that back two should be 18 frames?
I think if, I think they need a reality check. Yeah, that shit is nuts.
Oh my God, yes. I think he's a character like a lot of the newer players want to pick up, but once you kind of realize, oh crap, like I have to know the cancels, I have to know the conversions, right? They kind of like, oh, never mind, like because they just want to do back two and whatever, back three, whatever the law is, right?
Right.
But yeah, but the character's obviously, like he's more nuanced than a lot of the top three characters are. So, but I agree. I think he's heavily downplayed for sure, and also, by the way, causes massive matchup issues, like against Quan Chi, right?
Right.
Uh, I would even argue Sector now. So it he is, I think, very much underrated. Uh, Franco, what do you stand? Maybe you have a better, maybe not necessarily better, but more realistic approach to smoke. Maybe we're just up playing. What do you stand?
I would say he's. You guys probably not gonna like me for this. I might put him in high C tier, honestly, or low B tier. Um,
That
I don't know.
is
It's
fucking
like,
Yeah,
nuts.
I think that's crazy.
um, I don't know. It's like his armored attack is like, it's like not the best. Like I get it. Like if you don't hit the armor, he can appear invisible behind you potentially, but he could also get anti-aired for full combo. And sometimes like if you hit the armor and he like hits you with the attack, and it's not like him turning invisible, it's like not the worst punishment ever. You're just taking a knockdown. Sometimes you can actually hit the armor frames and still have time to block, and then punish the armored attack on the way down. Um, so that's like kind of like a exploit against him on defense. Uh, his he's like pretty gap like heavy. Like he has a lot of gaps. I don't know. I might be downplaying him. Um, I'd probably say I guess to meet you
I
guys in the
mean, gaps
middle.
to me don't matter that much. Gaps don't matter too much in this meta because I think armor moves, unless you're like fighting like maybe four or five characters, are pretty weak in this game right now. Unless you're like fighting maybe Kung Lao, Sector, definitely Havoc. I mean, who's gonna maybe Shang Tsung? But who the fuck is this Shang Tsung anyway? Like, who's actually armor? Like who's actually like arm? Maybe Sub Zero, which we'll get.
The other thing too is that yeah, sure he has gaps, but he can cancel off of all of those.
Yeah,
So
and he
he's
can
only
bait
getting
it
hit if
easily.
he's committing to like the full
Yeah.
thing.
And he can bait out the armor pretty easily. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think with Striker, his stocks have gone up for sure. Um, they have gone down with Sector, which I don't think is that big of a deal anyway because he doesn't really need Sector. He can still use Tremor. I think maybe we should settle in between and probably put him like top B or maybe low A. But
B is
that's just me.
ridiculous. There's no chance he's a B tier character.
Well, I mean, trying to meet the man in the middle of the road. So I don't know. But
And
anyway,
bear in
let's move
mind,
on. Yeah,
last thing,
go ahead.
that's
Go ahead.
not
No,
just
no,
me like
go
saying
ahead,
like because I'm
please.
salty about Quan Chi. It's like I think T1000 does fine in that match, but he's still fucking ridiculous. Like all the ways that he can make you guess. So it's not just a matchup thing, is what I'm saying. It's he
No, no,
has
fair
every
enough. Fair
tool.
enough. Fair enough. So I guess it's up to King Junior where he wants to put him. But let's move on and talk about Sub Zero, uh, the character who doesn't function properly. I do think Sub Zero's underrated as well. they're not the Sub-Zero players they're like so like emotionally committed to their character. Like I don't think most of the time they don't give you the realistic perspective. But uh, here's what I believe: in the matches in which he can like run away, hide behind the ice clone, force you to come in, I think he does very very well. But when he cannot do that, I do feel like he struggles because then he has to like randomly slide, randomly do back. And this is by the way another like online character, right? Like because back to something can be very difficult to react to online. So he benefits, but like offline in a setting in which he cannot open you up consistently, unless obviously he's using like a cameo. I do feel like he does struggle. Cowboy.
Uh, I don't know about that. I mean, tell me more. Like, why do you think he struggles?
Well, because I don't think he has the best offense.
Right. Uh,
So like when he can hide between like honestly like fighting him with Havoc, I think is actually
mhm.
kind of hard. Like
Yeah.
because I have to approach him and um Iceland is an issue, right? Because I can't really how am I supposed to punish that move, right? It's not like the forward roll has armor. It goes like like
Yeah, you're not
y-
punishing it.
yeah, exactly. You're not so like you and you always have to guess like is he gonna do a poke and stop, or is he gonna do a poke into into ice clone? It's just it's really effective, right? It's really really annoying. It slows you down and keeps you like honest. But like if he's like fighting Quan Chi, then he has to come to you. None of that matters, right? Like what he Iceland just fucking standing for him to teleport, right? Um, yes, like I understand that slide is always a threat and it's scrubby, but that's not the way you actually like. That's not gonna like win him. Like it might win him like rounds, but may not necessarily win him games. I think that's like the key point with Sub Zero, right? Like it's not a reliable strategy in the sense that you know what, I'm Ghostface, I'm gonna mix you up, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? Like, well, you slide. If I guess right, you're probably gonna be punishable anyway, right?
Not
So,
necessarily. That's
well,
not
not
true.
necessarily, but like again, it depends on the cameo and how much damage he gets, and what the risk versus reward is. And I think that part hurts him a lot. Whereas the top tiers don't have to worry about crap like that, right? Like if Cyrus has you in the vortex, you're in the vortex no matter what. Like you're done. Stubster doesn't really have that winning formula. That's what I feel like.
I mean, I agree he's not like an S tier,
Yeah.
but again, that's like the standard we're talking about.
Well,
I
where would
think
you
again,
put him? Like S, A, B, C, or whatever? Like where would you
I mean,
rank?
I think you two have been corrupted by Tom is the problem. Uh, he I think he could be an A tier character. He has everything. And like what you just said about like yeah, when he runs away, like he's really good. He can be good at mid range and up close too. Like again, that's just what Sub Zero's players say when they can't autopilot run away the entire match. He still has tools to deal with characters up close. He has an amazing down one. Um, anytime he jumps, kind of similar to Sindel, but not as good. Anytime he jumps, he has the roulette wheel going on whether he's going to do a jump in, an empty jump, or a dive kick. Dive kick is usually safe. A slide is launches from fucking full screen away, basically. Can be made safe too. Pretty good counter zoning. Uh, yeah, I mean his normals aren't the best, but he does have a good mid just in general.
What do you think his best
Yeah,
cameo
I
is?
don't probably Chameleon. Could be Cyrax, but I think it's Chameleon.
How is he making his
And I
slide
mean that just
safe?
covers everything. The what is it? The katana lift.
I
He
think
can time it
there's
so that like your punish will miss.
I think there's some anti-air counterplay to that. I think you can usually anti-air
Yeah,
before.
I think. Yeah, it depends.
Anytime I've tried that, I eat a dive kick to the face. It doesn't work. And the dive kick, by the way, is safe if I block it.
No, the definition of shenanigans. I have fought a couple of them online, and yeah, again, the character can be very annoying, and I do believe that he's better than most Sub-Zero players think. However, he, all I'm saying is his like winning formula is not as consistent as like
Right. Well, we agree he's not an S tier character, but I'm saying
yeah.
he can still be A. Like he has basically everything you need.
Well, one aspect is, I mean, you can call him bad, but like this, Sub-Zero doesn't really have the best results, even with somebody like Sikander, right, who did travel, and maybe he
No,
couldn't to all tournaments, but like there's some online stuff. But quick example, if I fight Franco online, I'm gonna hit him with sectors overhead. When I fight him offline, it's a completely different scenario. Like I do believe he benefits from. I don't know. I don't understand why NRS does this stupid design where why would you put overheads that are just like not reactable online yet offline they're react. It's just why? Like why would you put it in the game? There's a reason why the Tekken developers they realize, oh, let's make the sweep slower. Why? Because those sweeps that used to be that are essentially like easily blockable offline, they made them slower. Why? Because of online. And I was like, no, let's add 23 to 20, 24 frame overheads. Like,
yeah,
no, it's dumb. You're killing the competitive nature of the game for no reason.
but I don't even think like his overhead is like necessary. You know, like yeah, I agree. He
Dude,
gets some garbage
you
hits.
watch a lot of Sakena. I dare you. I forget the name's channel. Go on YouTube and watch them.
Right.
Dude is hitting that fucking over like it's a Quan
No,
Chi
I get
MKX
it. I
over.
get it. But I'm
Yeah.
saying even without that, I think he's really strong.
Well, I think without that, he really suffers because now I'm not panicking. I'm not as scared. So somebody like Franco, who will block that stuff like 95% of the time offline, he's not going to open up for that. He doesn't have to panic. And I do think that's an issue for the character.
I mean, he can just throw you, and then he gets throw combos too.
Well, that's what I mean. Then it becomes more cameo based and less character based. And I think that's where Sub Zero struggles, right?
Well, who cares? It's a cameo
He's
game.
well, that not I do care because it depends on the cameo, right? He can't have everything. Like if you play
He no,
Cyrax,
he pretty much can. He can pretty much have everything with Chameleon. That's not true.
well, fair enough. But again, when he does an overhead and you're gonna punish him now, he cannot break. That's not how the top tiers or even the not even like the high mid. That's not how they function. Like Ghostface, we agreed as like what, like high mid, right? Like you agree, right? Like he
Well, we
doesn't have
said
to
he's an
worry
A
about
tier
that.
character.
Yeah, I know, but that's not like Sub Zero's mix or even anime. Like Ghostface is gonna go for a mix, and guess what? He's still safe afterwards. There's absolute dog shit could do about it. That's not Sub Zero. Now you can say obviously Sub Zero has different strength, which is fair, but it's not like he can attempt a save over it or save low and just repeat it or whatever. Like that's not the character. Now
I get,
obviously
yeah,
Sub Zero has different strengths, obviously, like because Ghostface doesn't have a full screen low. But again, I think we have to keep in mind what, like you said, what actually wins in this game and what does not win.
yeah. I get that his mix isn't the best, but he has tools for basically everything.
All
I
right.
can't see him being this shit character.
Well, I don't think I ever said he was, but Franco, your comments on this Sub Zero topic.
I think there's like kind of like too many ways around like ice clone, so like he's kind of just fishing for dive kicks and maybe doing some like high risk high reward like mix ups with Chameleon. I think Chameleon's his best cameo, which you're losing health from. It's cool. Like Cyrax is another good cameo with him, but my only issue with Cyrax is you're not getting as good of mix with Cyrax. You're mainly just getting slide combos and throw combos. Um, you get the meter drain combos, which
You
is
get
cool.
setups too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I guess you could get some setups too. Like I know there's like the meter drain net combos too. That's pretty nice. But like, uh, yes, I think like his mids aren't the best either. Like they're pretty slow. Um, he doesn't really have block pressure to like he's negative on everything or punishable. He kind of loses his turn every time you block something from him most of the time. I don't know. I personally think he's C tier.
Yeah, I think it's like Yeah, his jab string is like what, like -7 with a gap. Like again, the Sub-Zero players will like Tom, right? They will throw tantrums about how bad he is, but I do believe in balance. I don't think he's like anywhere close to top tier, but he's also not as bad as they claim he is. I think he's probably like mid, low mid. I think that's a fair assessment. And again, he's a character like Smoke can depend on the matchup, right? If you have to chase him and he can just hide behind the ice clone, yeah, it's gonna be hell. If you can deal with that better than most characters, then I mean, you do the math. It's probably gonna be a lot easier for you. But anyway, let's move on. Let's finish this up. Um, T1000 Cowboy, you're the expert. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think he's probably an A tier character. The nerfs definitely hurt. He definitely has some hard matchups, I think. Kind of his biggest thing, he's definitely falls victim most to like people running away from him. It can be very, very frustrating to try and chase all game. Um, but he still has good mix ups, still has a very good footsie tool to stand for. And really, his kind of main footsie game is like conditioning between, I'd say, doing stand for, doing low spike, or jumping. That's pretty much what you want to do, like when you're at footsie range. And yeah, I think especially, and I'm annoyed I didn't catch on to it sooner. I think Striker is probably his best now, but Movado is probably still better in some matchups, especially the ones where just they're hardcore running away.
Yeah.
But I do think he's a strong character. He has lots of layers to his mind games, which I think is very fun. Pretty good at like when he gets his turn back, making it count. Because pretty much anytime you're negative, that means he's getting some kind of mix up. I think his best mix is probably off the stand three string, where you do 3-2 and then low spike or the overhead, which you can make fairly safe with Striker. You can still do it with Movado, but you're obviously taking a risk. Uh, yeah, I like him. I think he feels good to play. I don't think he probably didn't need to be nerfed as much as he was, especially when like fucking Homelander is still the same and like Rico getting buffed, which I don't understand that logic at all. But yeah, I think he's a good character. I'd say probably mid to bottom of A. Definitely not an S tier character anymore. I don't think so. But he can still put in some work.
King Junior, where do you stand on the T1000?
I think A tier is fair. He still has like his command grab mix. I do think he did get nerfed pretty hard. Um, the the air goop droop is still a really strong move, which you can't up block punish by the way. Um, the stand four is still one of the best normals in the game. It's disjointed and leads to as many hits as it does. Um, he has the restand back three string, so he still has stuff going for him. He's like kind of more glass cannony now though after his health nerfs, and the Movado nerfs I think did hurt a little bit, but yeah, Striker's probably the wave with him now. Yeah, I'd say A tier, low A tier probably, or mid A tier.
Yeah, fair enough. Let's move on and talk about Takeda. I don't know, man. I think this character is kind of confusing because he does have the results, but I feel like at least on paper, like we would agree that he probably has the worst armor move in the game, right? Like he essentially has no defense when he's on the ground, correct?
It's bad. No,
Because yeah, it's really really bad. So, but he does have the mix-ups. He does have the mid-range game. Oh yeah, his jab string is probably the best in the game, right? Like what is it? 1-2-1, whatever the thing is, or
the
one
auto
two.
shimmy. Yeah.
Yeah. It's. I talked to somebody and he was like, "Man, it's kind of like a Rekka," and it kind of is. It does feel like a Rekka. So it's really really strong and um yeah, I feel like he pretty much has everything. And by the way, the kunai are very strong in zoning as well. Yeah, I feel like he pretty much has everything except the defense. So when he's on the ground, he's essentially you can do whatever the hell you want to him. He's like, free. But everything else, I feel like he has. And I think he's probably at A tier as a result. Cowboy, what say you?
I'd agree with A tier. Yeah, his armor does suck, but really, really strong footsies. Like I think most characters can't contend with the amount of space he controls. And on top of that, right, because neutral isn't enough in this game, he does have good mix ups. Like they take a little bit more work to get going for sure than like the S tiers, but they still work. And he does really good damage off of them too. So yeah, I think he's a very strong character, dominant neutral, good mix ups, a pretty annoying mobility, surprisingly, honestly.
Yeah, I
Uh,
agree.
but yeah, he's a very good character.
King Jr., what say you about Takeda?
Yeah, his I would say he's an A tier character. The armor sucks. Um, One of the best jab strings, like you guys said. His air normals are really good, and his aerial specials are really good. Like the tether, like that he puts on the ceiling and swings with, and like he's got like some decent cameo options with like Jax. Maybe not so much Sector anymore, but I've seen Cyrax and Janet as well. Um, yeah, he's underrepresented, I think, in North America, but yeah, I think he's an A tier character, and yeah, I'm trying to think of outside his armor, he really doesn't have too much else like bad with him. Like his backwalk movement's actually not too bad either, and like his back three slide like low like starter has like a lot of hit advantage, so you can combo into like certain things that most other characters can't, like Cyrax net or something. So I don't know. Yeah, I would say he's like an A tier character. Just the armor holds him back.
Yep. Well, we're saving the worst for the last, at least
Oh
in my
God.
humble opinion. Yeah, Tanya. Just I know Cowboy's not consistent on this because he's gonna claim she's like underrated and stuff like that. But like, if you're consistent, uh, with everything we have said so far, and by you I don't mean the Cowboy necessarily or anybody watching, but let's just if you really think about it, right? This tier list is essentially who has the best mix. If you have a great mix, you're top tier. If you don't, then you're probably on the lower end, right? That's just how the game works. Which is again not to go off track, but I think at least Quan Chi he has an overhead which is not reactable. It's not obviously not as strong as the other top tiers what they have, but like Tanya has no mix. She was essentially like a steel turning armor character. They took away they took the armor away from her. And what does she really do? Like she's essentially the most vanilla footsie character of all time. I think even worse than Raiden, I would argue. Um, so what does she really do right now? I really couldn't tell you. Um, she has a mechanic in which she's supposed to get like perks, kind of like Geras, but maybe to a lesser extent. But I mean, nobody really cares if she gets it. It's completely irrelevant. I don't even know like what she does in this game. Um, I think she's the worst character in the game by far. If there was a D tier character, I think she would belong in it. Not necessarily because she's useless, she's bad, she's whatever, this and that, but I just don't think I don't know what she does. Um, has a couple of good footsie tools, but other than that, I mean, the meta has shifted so far up the ass into some mix-ups that I think she's a child left behind in 2020, in 2005. Like she just doesn't do what she's supposed to anymore. Um, Way too overwhelming, which is why you never like. If you guys think about the results, we've even seen like Peacemaker get results, even Quan Chi, even like um, Reptile and Raiden to a very minor extent. Nobody uses this character. Like I rarely ever fight this character online or even see matches offline. I think she's the worst character in the game. Cowboy, your thoughts?
Well, we'll get into specifics in a bit, but she's a C tier character. Yeah. In the lower half with like Reptile, Shang, Quan. Um, kind of honestly, now that I think about it, similar issue to what happened to Raiden. It's like she had something that was obviously like just way too strong when she had the Goro armor meta. But after taking that out, she's just not really left with anything. Like she's just a footsie character. Does good damage, and I still think I do think you downplay a little bit. Now, having said that, obviously I'm still putting her in the bottom tier, but um, yeah, just doesn't do anything unique really, and that's kind of the issue.
Yeah, I think you're being reasonable. King Jr., thoughts on Tanya?
I would honestly put her in bottom one, and it's as much as I think Quan is bad, I think he got buffed like enough to power creep Tanya, which really isn't saying much, but I would say she's bottom one honestly. Like that, it shows how reliant she was on armor into Goro, like in the previous patch where she had it, and now that it's gone, like she really isn't. She's just so underwhelming compared to what other characters have. Like the other lower tier characters like Shang has his EX claws into ambush. Omni Man has EX titties into Movado. Uh, so like her armor is just like outside of seeking guidance, like her armor is just not at all what it used to be, and nowhere near as accessible. Like they don't need to set up those. Like Omni Man and Shang don't need to set up anything to have access to their armor being like ambushed, like or ambushed into, like she does with seeking guidance. So I mean, yeah, she's just really underwhelming, and ever since she got nerfed, she has been like really low
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. But even that said, again, I do think the game is balanced, and I do believe you can probably use it with Motaro, maybe even a striker, and do some stuff. But yeah, there's absolutely no reason why you would choose her or any of the other characters, and I think um, that's well represented by the fact that you almost never see this character, like whether it's offline or online, whether you're watching Coliseum or Brazilian tournament, whatever the case might be, right? You almost never see her. It's because she's just not worth using. There's absolutely no redeeming factor why you would pick this character. Super generic, super like like based around footsies, but there's absolutely no reward. There's no mix-ups. Yeah, this character needs like I don't think she needs like a laundry of buffs, but she does need changes, and she does need um, changes to her perks when she does the seeking guidance. Um, but yeah, let's kind of wrap it up because we've been going on a while. Let's give the two of you guys the last word about anything you want to say about this tier list or about the game. Let's start. Cowboy is the guest, so we're gonna give him the last word, but I'm gonna start with King Junior first.
Now that I'm looking at this list, I honestly might put Conan in low A tier. We have him in high B tier right now. But
Okay.
Yeah, he's A tier.
outside the list, I'm hoping that this game does get its final patch or patches, whatever they may be, if we get them. Uh, I'm going to keep playing the game and try to play in online tournaments, depending on how my schedule is and stuff like that. I still like really enjoy the game, and obviously, I hope there's several more patches, but that's wishful thinking. And if we do get a patch, I'm guessing it'll be when the Combat League season ends, but I could be wrong. That's just a typical trend that has happened with this game. Usually the patches would come out after the season ends. So, yeah, I just hope there's a little bit more in store for the game and the patches, and hopefully we can see some of these power crept characters like Tanya and or over nerfed characters like Peacemaker and Tanya, like get some love. I hope Quan gets some more love, and yeah, just hoping that we get some patches before the game's really officially done.
Cowboy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I assume like both of you, I'm gonna keep playing. Enter tournaments here and there. Uh, yeah, I think there's definitely potential for the game to improve. And I know this is gonna hurt Dave's feelings, but I think if they bring the top tiers in line, the game will be in a much better place even than it is now. Just make it so there's more kind of risk reward, and it's not just everything's just objectively strong for the S tiers. So I think if they can do something like that, the game will be one of the better ones they've made. Yeah, I'm gonna keep playing regardless, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, me too. I will definitely keep playing. I think even when Legacy comes out, I do believe because I want to play a game with a rank system. I want to play a game,
Right.
that as many other people play as possible, right? So, because what's the point of playing a game if you're playing the same, I don't know, 10 people, right? Um, so I'm gonna keep playing. I am hoping for more patches. I'm hoping, you know, the more armor, the merrier.
Of course,
Of
you know.
course. What a fraud, right? But like, yeah, I feel like the more defensive mechanics, like the Dario stuff, I want to see more of that. I think that's better for a character like Quan Chi, and to a lesser extent, like Tanya. But yeah, I like the game, and I will continue defending it when it deserves defending. Um, yeah, please, NRS, if you're listening, give us more patches. Hopefully in 2 or 3 weeks, give us one patch to look forward to by the end of by the end of this year. Yeah. With that said, thank you guys for listening. Give us your comments in the YouTube comment section, and let us know what you think. Um, bye everybody. Have a good one.